Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. Better me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitted for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get bigger. Please don't play no games with me, I promise I'm too much. Ay, I can never let up even if you had enough. Ay, this ain't for the faint of heart, we always playing rough. I had enough, it ain't luck. I needed a vision, I needed ambition, I needed a mission to beat in submission with no intermission. I see the collision, the crash in the distance, they coming off track, no. When they ask what's the motive, don't talk about the show them. They all about to see what I mean in the moment. I gotta keep going, I'm shaking the dice and I'm keeping the rolling, they already know. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get bigger. Cause it can get bigger. Cause it can get bigger.
They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation. Now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on the jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Squatting all bad like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out.
Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, ATP, 9:30 a.m., not from 5 a.m., a little bit late this morning, but we're still in the building. Clap it up. Clap it up. It's Thursday. We're running in the fight weekend. We got fights to talk about. Boxing still doing what boxing does. Salute to everybody who is in the building right now. Man, boxing is in such a great space right now. We got more news coming out, things developing, opinions across the space, some being debunked, some of them being actually fueled up with more information. We're going to speak a little bit more about Tank today. Sounds like retirement talk and everything like that has been debunked at this point, as representatives of Tank's team have come out and communicated that this is false information and false news. Keep in mind, of course, we all understood that, you know, this was coming from Rick Glazier and his access to whatever, you know, persons that are affiliated or have close affiliations with that team, who's giving his opinion on what he heard or whatever have you. It is what it is, right? But at the end of the day, there's also information coming out that Tank may be taking a hiatus, maybe some sort of consideration to his personal time so that he can handle personal business, dial in, focus on what his next steps are going to be. Rumors circulating that he may be entertaining fighting a Manny Pacquiao at some point in time in the near future, or even making a move to 140 pounds. That being said, a lot of things, obviously, a lot of wrinkles to be ironed out on that side of the conversation. We'll talk about how that affects the 135-pound division, and you know, how we're going to look forward from that. How do we move forward and continue to see the other fighters like Lamont Roach and, you know, the whole division that's actually coming up slowly but surely with new champions. This is a whole new breath of fresh air being pumped into the boxing space. So we'll talk about that as well. Victor Conte comes out, speaks. He's back on the Twitter, guys, and he's talking. He's defending Terence Crawford. He's speaking on his relationship with Vada, and you know, Terence Crawford sitting there speaking volumes in his silence, just getting ready for this big event and fight, the biggest challenge of his whole entire career. Has, you know, everything he's done in his career seems to be culminating to this moment right now in September. And clearly his focus is there and not thinking about the outside influence of content creators that want to push out what we have to keep 100, just false narratives at this point. We don't need to play games with that, right? There's even news out there, potential repercussions and things of that nature that may be coming on the back end of a lot of the narratives that are pushing out there, right? We'll talk about that a little bit as well. As far as Terence Crawford is concerned, Bob Arum communicates to the space that he'd be more than interested in putting together the Xander Zayas Boots Ennis fight. Seems very interested in that. Bob, if not for nothing, very confident in his the youngest champion, active champion, his young champion's ability to fight the best fights that are out there at 154. And that's awesome. Jerron Boots Ennis continues to trend in the boxing space. Some people might consider for the wrong reasons. Somebody might consider for the right reasons. I think one way or another, the saying, all promo is good promo, might resonate in this situation with Jerron Boots Ennis. Options just opening up for him. Yesterday, we had news of potential negotiations happening between him and Jesus Ramos's team and the PBC, and his trajectory of potentially putting himself in the space to fight a Terence Crawford, or at least put himself in that WBA conversation. And then, you know, obviously we know there were information coming out from Eddie Hearn about negotiations happening with potentially Josh Kelly and how that would have lined him up for Xander Zayas. Now hearing Bob Arum speak very confidently in his own fighter, Xander Zayas, and being very optimistic of putting that fight together. More options for Jerron Boots Ennis. And obviously the elephant in the room with Jerron Ennis at 154 is the big fight, which is between him and Virgil Ortiz right now, that everybody wants to see happening. So Jerron Ennis continues to trend. He continues to be that guy. All fingers pointing towards he's probably, if he makes the right moves, going to be in position to be maybe even a face, if not the face of the American boxing scene, right? We also got to take into consideration David Benavidez and all these other guys who are doing trend-setting things as well. Terence Crawford, you know what I mean? But 135 looking for that face as well right now. So we're going to talk about all those things, little news, and then today we're going to tap into the heavyweight boxing space. heavyweight, as the heavyweights go, so does boxing, right? So we got a big fight happening right now, getting ready to happen on August 16th that we're looking forward to see between Moses Atuma and Dillian White. And we've also got David Adelaide and Philip Ergovich on that card. The young guys are starting to move in a certain way. We've got a generation of fighters, and we'll talk about that today as well, ushering a new era of legacy and making the money, right? We're leaving an era to where promotional companies would overpay A-side fighters to fight, I don't want to say tomato cans because I don't want to call fighters tomato cans, but just feeding the boxing space knockouts and not feeding the boxing space sustenance, legacy, watching history be made, titles being unified, undisputed, all those things that I grew up watching when I watched boxing that made me love boxing. And it seemed like the money left legacy, the money left the titles, and now we're heading into an era where we have a whole breed of new young fighters who are embracing that era of legacy, and we have obviously money being infused into the game, aligning now with legacy. So shout out to the Abdullah Masons, shout out to the Xander Zayas's, shout out to the Keyshawn Davises, shout out to Alexander Usyk, who also stayed to the code and stayed legacy driven, unifying and becoming undisputed in divisions he competed in. Shout out to the Moses Atumas, shout out to the Jeet Caballeros, shout out to Joseph Parker, right? I can go across the board and talk about it. The Diego Pachecos, the Hamza Shirazes, all these new fighters coming up, and even the younger ones like the Carmel Motons, right? And the Zaquin Moseses that are very, very driven and looking like they want to move in that direction. And boxing just looks like it's getting more and more interesting. We're going into a new era of boxing. Nothing remains the same. Things evolve and sometimes go back to the best days that boxing ever was. We'll talk about all those things. And of course, we're going to open up the panel towards the end of this one, bring on the usual suspects. That's what I'm going to call my panel now, right? The usual suspects. When I call for you guys, let me get the usual suspects in the building. We'll build on all topics at hand and then close out the show as we normally do. Guys, feel free to please hit that like button as you step into the room. Helps with the algorithm. Color in the chat is always appreciated. It helps the channel, helps us evolve and move into new things that we're trying to get involved in. We appreciate it all, man. Never, ever feel like you're not being appreciated. Any color you can put in the chat is appreciated, man. Thank you in advance, man. Let me go ahead and bring up my co-host, Ray M. Davis in the building.
What up, Clay? Got my little buddy right here. What's good with you? What's good with you?
Bring you in style, baby. Bring you in style, baby. Bring you in style. You know what I'm saying? What's good with you, famo? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Listen, man, doing my thing. You know what I mean? Hat to the side. You know what I mean? Fresh Yankee on. You know what I mean? The B, got the collar.
Oh, yeah. You know yeah, man.
Golf shirt on the bright orange side. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, you want to be seen. That's what's up, bro. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be seen, man. Nothing wrong with it.
Can't see me in my car.
For the right reasons, right? As long as for the right reasons. Some people just want to be seen and will do anything.
All right, Clay. When I'm driving, you can't see me. You know that. You've been in the whip. It's tinted out, baby.
No doubt. Hold on. Give me a minute here. Let me shout out the room right now. Chris Brooks, first one in the building. 9:29 a.m. showed up. Grand Rising, my brother Claymore Rain. I'm in the building. Salute Chris Brooks for being in the building, man. We're going to build on this boxing talk today. We're going to dive deep into some people are going to love it. Some people aren't going to love it. I don't care no more. You know, I'll be honest with you. Boxing needs a voice of reason. That's what we want to offer here, and that's what I'm always going to offer here. And if you don't like it, stay quiet until we get to the part that you do like, because we cover the whole entire landscape of boxing. But there's conversations that if it's trending, we got to talk about it, and we're going to talk about it. And a lot of things are trending, and some fans are in their feelings about the way that things are trending, and they feel like we're trending it. No, we're speaking on what's trending. Obviously, we've been talking about a lot of these topics for a long time, for years now, and things are culminating into a space to where it's barbecue or mildew, shit or get off the pot. You know what I mean? Show improve, as the God bodies would say, right? Sometimes it gets to the point to where you can run your mouth as much as you want to run it. You can speculate as much as you want to speculate, but what's in the dark comes to light. And as things get closer and closer to culminate into actual facts and truth and things that we can actually grab with our hands, tangible things that we can use. You can't argue the facts sometimes, and we have to get over our feelings. And I see that the boxing space is trembling right now. The algorithm is shaking right now as things don't seem to be moving in the direction that some people wanted to move in. But it is what it is. Boxing must move on. We'll talk about all that. Salute to you, Chris Brooks. Shout out to DJ Shade 1584 in the building. Salute to you, bro. Good to see you in the building. My guy, day one, right? Grassroots support right here. Out of one of your favorite cities, one of your favorite cities for boxing. I won't put his business out there, but I'll just leave it there. Here for boxing, as he's always been, as I've always known him to be, here for boxing in the building, man. Salute to Here for Boxing in the building, man. Shout out to Keith Tuck in the building. What upper, Clay? What upper, Keith? What's good with you, fam? Shelton Moore, man. One of the usual suspects. Shelton Moore. Matter of fact, how am I not? Shelton, let me get you together, bro.
There you go. Yeah, you got it.
You know what I mean? I got to get you together.
Yesterday. Somebody hit him yesterday, and I was like, yo, get him a wrench.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. I gotta, there you go, Shelton. My bad. You know what I mean? I'm bad at that, man. But Shelton Moore, definitely a usual suspect, becoming a usual suspect in the building, man. Just good knowledge on the sport, coming from a different generation and era of boxing where he can appreciate the direction that boxing is moving right now. We don't agree on everything, clearly, you know what I'm saying, at times, but I think most things we kind of agree on, to be honest.
He builds, though. Yeah,
but he builds. That's what I was going to say. He adds, he shares perspective, and it's nothing for Shelton to leave me going,
Right.
What the heck think about like that? I don't know, baby. You know what I mean?
He a fanboy. None of that.
Yeah, we love it, man.
Straight down the middle, as you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Shelton,
where you
man.
want a fan to be, bro.
No doubt. Salute to Mike Too Shady in the building, man. Mike, why you so shady? Mike, why you so shady now? Salute to Mike
Shady, bro. He's not so shady. He's too shady.
He said he too shady, man. Damn, Mike.
Yeah,
he can't be like that, man. It's a new day, new era, man. We gotta lead the shadiness, man. But I understand though. Sometimes we gotta be shady out here, bro.
I mean, I get it. Look where he's standing. He's standing in the shade.
Yeah. Salute to Dez22 in the building. Salute, Dez. Salute back at you, man. Tate Bugs in the building says, Clay, Rain, good morning, Clay. How are you, fam? I'm in a great mood. I'm in a great space. Plan on catching me a little movie today. I'm trying to run up in there and catch me some of that Fantastic Four today. You know what I mean?
That's coming out.
Back into my work week.
That back too.
You know what I mean? I want to see that. And I'm good, man. I went to the gym this morning. I'm proud of myself, guys. I've been going to the gym 3 days in a row. Hey! We in the gym, man. We're doing that resistance training. We're getting later in our years now, closer to 50 than 40 today. And well, not today. That's that would lead you to believe today's my birthday, right? No, the closer, but still, the days go by. We're getting closer to 50, and we want to make sure we're on point, right? We want to make sure we're healthy, make sure everything is working. If you don't use it, you might lose it. So I'm proud of myself, man, in the gym doing what I'm supposed to do. And I'm not always doing what I'm supposed to do.
I'm trying to get there too, Clay. I'm too small, man. Bro. Pause.
One day at a time, bro.
Yeah,
one day at a time.
I gotta get my weight up.
Yeah, Tay want to know how you doing, man.
I said, listen, man, I'm good, man. Thanks, family. You know what I mean? Always good. Hope you're doing well. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Salute to R. Stokes in the building. Says, morning, Claymore and chat family. No doubt, R. Stokes. Everything good with you? I hope everything is great with you. Joel says, Clay, my God, what up, King? Joel, what up? Back at you, King. Doing good, man. We gonna talk about this boxing. Cornelius Burnett in the building. Salute to Cornelius Burnett in the building as well. You know what I mean? Good to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Here for boxing said 3 days in a row. That goes from a hobby to a habit. You heard?
You heard what he said? But listen, you got me on the He said I'm kind of frail, Clay.
Listen.
Clay.
Listen, Linda,
Clay.
listen. We trying to build habits out here, man. We definitely trying to build habits. Thor Hero in the building says, salute to the dream team of this boxing talk. Hope you two gentlemen are having a great day. Thank you, man. Thank you for acknowledging us too, man. In that way, man, I receive it. I receive those blessings. I receive it. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Take that and put it in my pocket right here, bro.
There you go.
Thank you, man.
Don't
let those go. Always appreciate the always respect and appreciate the support, man. Thank you, man. Who else we got? Eastside Easy, my guy Green. I said Green. Grassroots right here. Eastside Easy in the building. Eastside Easy also a winner of one of the giveaways we did. Shout out to Charles Edward Cheese, King Queso in the building who supported this channel in a big way, in a way nobody else has ever supported this channel out. You know what I mean? He will always be respected and celebrated in this space, man. Thank you. And Eastside Easy received and was a beneficiary of that charity, of that support from Charles Edward Cheese, man. Shout out to Eastside Easy in the building. All right, and Raphael says, on my way to work. Oh, keep us on in the background, man. We're gonna talk about boxing. We might have you biting your teeth, biting your bottom lip a little bit. I don't know. Depending on how you feel, you might be like, yeah, or you might be like, ooh, them boys, them dirty ATP boys back at it again. Oh, they always up to no good.
Yeah, I don't know about biting his lip, but maybe gritting his teeth. I can accept that. But I
might have to get that Dukes of Hazzard song for part of the intro. Just the good old boys, never meaning no harm. You know what I'm saying? Something.
What up, Blue? Blue on Hurley today. What's up, Blue? Blue working out. I'm doing.
Oh yeah, Blue flexing right now. He got the gloves on right now. He doing 1,000 reps of push-ups. 2,000 reps of pull-ups, you know what I mean? And probably
get like y'all, man.
Probably got a plate of protein waiting on him as a reward when he's done, when he's all said and done with the workout. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother, Blue Blood Sports TV. Blue, listen, man, I'm patient and I'm going to keep on being patient, bro, because we're going to get this done, bro. And you know what I'm talking about. We got a show. We supposed to be, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not letting it go, bro. I'm not letting up. I'm going to let you get your flex on. I see you working with your six-pack and you got shit going on, but it has not slid off the bucket list. We got to handle that, bro. That's going to be a hit. That's going to be a hit, Blue.
Well, it'll be the second hit, Blue. No disrespect, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just being honest. This is going to be something
up there. You know what it is, Blue. I'm number one in this game, man. I'm a request.
Blue, you playing around with it. When it's all said and done, and we look back at it, you're gonna be like, "Boy, I almost messed around." Remember, I said that. I almost messed around
good.
When it's all said and done.
I don't mind, man.
It is what it is, man.
But we good.
Here for boxing says, just admit Turkey pays you, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me call him right now.
That ain't true because I want that to be so true. I'll tell you this. I'll admit that I want Turkey to pay me. How about that? I'll admit that I want Turkey to pay me.
Hold on. Let me call him.
Turkey, if you watching this, we working every day. Every day we working, hoping that we finally catch your attention one day and you tap in and hit a link or hit me in the email and say, listen, I need to talk to you, my friend. Assalamu alaikum. You know what I mean? To my brethren and my brother in Islam, Turkey Al-Ashik. Shout out to also I saw, that being said, Anton Zegler, man. Walaikum salam. Rahmatullah barakatuh to my brother in Islam, Anton Zegler in the building, man. Salute to my brother. I'm sure Fly Frequencies in the building as well. Salute to you guys. Salute to Antonio MMA in the building as well. Adding to the space, man. So look, man. We got to get that Turkey cosign. We out here. You already know, Eastside. We manifesting it, man. Receiving it, bro. Can't wait, man. It can't happen fast. Oh man, I almost bit my tongue. I don't know if that was a good or a bad thing. Can't wait to manifest that into something in real time, man. I can't lie to you. So where do we start this conversation today? Today's gonna be a lot of drama. I ain't gonna lie to you. We're gonna talk about boxing for sure.
Thursday.
We're gonna get into the drama today. We're gonna get into the drama of it. You know, you let these things cook. You let them simmer, slow cook before you hit it, so you can get more information. But we're gonna tap into some of the drama today, and don't act like you guys don't like the drama. You know you like the drama. You know what I mean? We're gonna tap into it, man. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. If you take it personal, that means the shoe fits. That's all I got to say.
Guys, listen, man. It is what it is, right? So, let's tap in real quick here. Let's go into the Boots Ennis situation as this situation turning out. You heard the news about Bob Arum speaking on
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, how do you feel about that?
I think Bob is just trying to get recognized in the pool of which way to go. He's trying to force a direction. It is what it is. Listen, man, if you're gonna give him a title shot, shit, it is what it is. It just shows you, matter of fact, timeout. It just takes back everything that everyone's been saying about Boots, because he's a desired opponent. Think of all the fighters that have been calling him out or his name has been linked with. He's desired from 154, 147, possibly even 160. He's desired. People want to fight Boots. People want to put from Tim Tszyu all the way up to little down to Tim Thurman, I should say, up to Xander Zayas, things of that nature. Promoters recognize him as being a great fighter. These guys know who he is. So at the end of the day, it's cool that they that Bob Arum put his name, Xander's name in the hat for the sweepstakes, because that's what it is. It's a sweepstakes now, right? Before it was nobody wanted to fight him. As we predicted, he goes to 54. It's going to be nothing but fights. This dude don't have. He can't open a letter without a gift card in it from another fighter, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think, and I'm gonna add to what you're saying, because what you're saying, like the main thing that you're saying, that's the realest thing that you're saying out of everything that you're saying, is that Boots is trending. Boots is like that, and it's funny because as much criticism and scrutiny as he is getting to make certain decisions, to move in a certain direction, it just adds to the reality of the situation that this man is becoming one of the biggest stars in the boxing space right now. And no matter how he is moving, as far as the speculation is concerned, everybody is at the edge of their seats waiting to see what he is going to announce. And that's got to always be a good thing.
Yep.
Boots' product inside that ring, the product that he offers us, is much wanted and needed. It's a high priority commodity in this game. He showcases explosive athleticism, boxing IQ, knockouts, and there's a lot of opponents who you want to see him in the ring with, who you want to see test him. And you have an opponent, and you have a fighter in Jerron Boots Ennis, who probably is not going to turn down too much smoke. So we can't wait to see what he's going to do. But at the same time, there's a little bit of a fear and anxiety there with Jerron Boots Ennis, because we've seen fighters of his caliber play it safe for a large majority of their career. And we're scared that we're going to see Boots go down that same way, right? Like, I'm not scared of that. I don't believe that, but I think the fans are fearful. Like, and I don't care. I'm going to say the names. The Gervonta Tank Davis is the Canelo right now, just towards the end of his career, has people feeling like that a little bit. But all your favorite fighters who you wanted to see make certain fights and kind of cherry pick their way into a lot of money, and then you see them threatening to kind of like fade out the game and not give you what you wanted to see from them. And nobody, and they want to see Jerron be true to who they knew him to be at 147, somebody who wanted to fight everybody. And to see him now becoming this businessman, becoming this brand, as Jay said, I'm a businessman. I'm not just a businessman, I'm a business man. And Boots is embracing that now, re-signing with Eddie Hearn, embracing this aspect of being a strategist, right? And having having some reasoning behind the way he's moving, and it's almost like a mad scientist right now between him and Eddie Hearn, and it's making the space nervous. But like I said, more importantly is he's trending, man, and everybody wants to know what he's going to do. And even now, Bob Arum is looking at it like, I want to get into this business on the back end of now moving away from ESPN. And we know how close of a relationship Bob has with Turki Al-Sheikh. So listen, Bob is opening his mind and opening up the options now. He's not thinking about what he was thinking before when he didn't have that financial backing. And we got to talk about that a little bit later as well, as far as the future of Top Rank and where we see it happening. But I think him talking about being willing to put Xander's eyes, his young prospect turned contender turned champion, youngest active champion in the space, kind of speaks to his willingness to kind of like let the young bulls go now, where he would probably been more reserved about that when he was with ESPN, right? He'd have been more concerned about building, but now he's kind of more willing to let it go. And I think that's a good sign. You know what I'm saying? That's a good sign. Clearly Boots has a lot of options, and he's leveraging all these options now, even with the negotiations with the Jesus Ramos that probably is going on right now, or with the Josh Kelly and all these other things, letting them know, like, we got plenty of offers on the table, man. So if it's not you, to be somebody else. We'll remember who showed us love and talked to us nice, but we'll also remember who played the game with us in a negative way, right? Shout out to 2 Cents Boxing in the building. Said nobody cherry picked their way into money more than Crawford. Oh, good morning, 2 Cents. We're going to talk about Crawford. We're going to talk about your boy a little bit.
Where did that come from? Hold on.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Salute to 2 Cents Boxing in the building, man.
Y'all go. That's crazy.
Shout out to Well Connected Boxing in the building. My God, Dub in the building. Shout out to Dub in the building, man. Dub, we got to talk about Lamont too a little bit later, and we're going to talk about Gary Russell Jr. as well, as he looks like he wants to get into the Lamont Roach conversation. We're going to talk about what Lamont Roach has got to do next as well, because it doesn't sound like the Tank thing is something that he can clearly, by the way, at this point, the Tank thing is not on the table for him right now, at least. What's next for Lamont Roach? We'll talk about that. Shout out to SOB TV in the building as well, man. Desi Sanchez in the building says Zayas is a great tune-up for Ennis. It's a great opportunity for him. He gets a title shot and also the most popular Puerto Rican right now. Man, Xander Zayas is I'm loving Xander Zayas, his attitude. I keep telling everybody his aptitude is what makes him such a dangerous fighter, because what you got yesterday ain't gonna be what you get tomorrow with Xander Zayas, because he's evolving. Pay attention to Xander Zayas, because we watched him grow from 16 years old to where he's at today. You watch him grow physically, you watch him grow mentally, right? You watch him do it from fight to fight to fight, man. He's evolving, and what his future is intriguing, because you just don't know with somebody like that who has that type of aptitude, who you know is learning from every fight that he gets into. He's learning, he's adjusting, he's training, he's getting better, and he's showing new wrinkles to his game every time he gets in the ring. He's adjusting, he's doing those things that you want to see a young fighter doing it, and I think he's being recognized by the Miguel Cottos of Felix Trinidad, the Tito Trinidad's, right? These people are recognizing, like, and they're saying it, we want him to represent us. We want him to represent our country, bro. And that's a big deal, man. That's a big deal. It's one thing to say you're the king of something, but it's another thing to be crowned the king of something, right? It's a whole different conversation. Shout out to those people in the building. Who else, man?
See in the building, man. No.
Let's see here. Bradley 68 in the building. Carl Brown in the building. Ain't seen you in a minute, Carl. Salute, man. Good morning,
Carl
bro.
at? Where Carl at? Oh shoot, there's Carl. What you doing here, Carl? I ain't seen you in a minute.
Wow, Carl.
See Breezy in the building.
Salute. Yeah, so listen, man, Bob Arum putting out that information, having that willingness to put Xander in the ring with a Boots Ennis. Listen, man, Boots is, I can't wait. I'm hearing that we should be hearing something soon inside of the next 7 to 10 days. We should be getting an announcement. The date that they're aiming at is October 11th in Philadelphia, Wells Fargo's. Jerron Boots Ennis against who? I'm leaning more towards Jesus Ramos right now. I'm not going to lie to you, just based off of the conversation we had yesterday. I think, he has options clearly, but I think that WBA route seems like something he may be interested in. I think it opens up a lot of doors and opportunities for him. And that's what Boots wants to have. He wants to keep those doors open. And I think Virgil is there. Terrence is there. A title is there. Unifications come off on the back end of him being successful in all these title shots. I like the Jesus Ramos ways, but clearly there's a WBC route.
There's a list, bro,
as well.
There's a list. Said he's getting gift cards every day. He's getting flowers sent to him every day with a little gift card. Pick me, pick me, pick me.
Yeah, bro.
It's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Make sure we're hitting the like button as we come in. 43 people in the building.
What's up, Blaze?
Please remember to do that. Thank you in advance, man.
You're well connected in the building.
No doubt. So Victor Conte comes out and speaks out about his relationship with Terence Crawford and with Vada. Big tweet campaign by Victor Conte in the last 24 hours, just addressing a lot of elephants in the room. I would assume most people are going to either not believe him or believe him. I don't know. Victor Conte is a convicted drug cheat from back in the day, but I don't know when I don't think I ever have really attributed him to be a liar yet. Like I know criminal past, I recognize him for what he done in the past as far as performance enhancement drugs, but I don't think him being convicted and being involved in that makes him a liar now, somebody with no credibility. I don't know if anybody can reference a lie they caught him in or something he said that it came out that I don't know, right? I know that the boxing space is filled with criminals, from the boxers themselves to the actual fans. So I would think there'd be some empathy there, some understanding of reformation. Right, of being reformed, of changing your life and heading in a certain direction, but always keeping obviously an eye on somebody who's done something. If you've been convicted of robbing being a burglar, I'm going to keep an eye on you. If I let you in my house, I'm going to keep an eye on my valuables because of the past you had. But just because you're a criminal doesn't make you now somebody who I need to watch because you might, violate my daughter, right? Because you don't have a history of doing that. So I'm not going to just put that on your back because you have criminal past. Victor Conte, at the same time, has earned up a lot of credibility in the performance enhancement drug space as well, for what he's been convicted for, but also for how much he's contributed into the reformation of drug testing in the space, from him educating and communicating to the space of all the loopholes that could be there, to him pushing for 365 days, 24/7, 365 VADA drug testing, for being called in by these what's the word I'm looking for, man? These testing agencies from USADA to VADA to WADA across the space, and he speaks on it, right? And that I think deserves the attention, is the positive attention. We can celebrate him for trying his best to make his presence in the sports space a presence felt on the positive, on the right side of sports drug testing, right? But he'll still always be held. Listen, man, he is who he is, but hold on one second. I actually want to pull this up right here because he's been on this campaign. Bear with me. Share screen. Victor. Let's go back here. I want to go back as far. Because he's really been on a campaign for more than the past 24 hours, to be honest with you, probably for the last 2-3 days, right? Really, well, here he is on June 25th speaking on Terence Crawford. This on the back end, obviously, of a lot of allegations being pushed out there by content creators across the space, questioning Terence Crawford's integrity as far as whether he's a clean fighter or not a clean fighter. Victor Conte, I guess, felt it necessary to come out and speak on this. Right here, we see him saying clean. Let me see here. Clean boxing update. This information was received from Terence Crawford. Terence and Canelo were both enrolled in VADA on June 10, 2025. Terence was first tested on June 13, 2025. His test results are attached below. Terence was tested again on June 19, 2025, and those test results will be forthcoming. Terence is being fully transparent as a leader of the anti-doping movement in boxing, clean boxing, right? So no evidence of him ever popping on anything or showing up dirty, but plenty of evidence showing him being a tested fighter frequently. From the 13th, 6 days later on the 19th, he's tested. And here he speaks on enough about Terence Crawford weighing 185 and 6 weeks out until the fight. He will not weigh that on the fight night. Yes, Terence is a dog and highly skilled. He's not on PEDs and never has been. I was involved with PEDs 22 years ago because I may understand how to circumvent some of these tests. Does not mean that I have done so in more than I've done so in more since 2003. The speculation about Snack is simply that. Terence may be the most intelligent boxer today, accept and appreciate his tremendous talent. Goes on to continue to keep on speaking about enough of this. Conte knows how to pass drug tests. There are a few tests that can be circumvented with expertise. For example, testosterone. It is possible to microdose and possibly fly under the radar. I've never personally done this. 20 years ago, we used the designer steroid THD. That is now prohibited. Let's be clear that knowledge on how to do something and doing it are two different things. I have not given any athletes a PED test since, I want to say, 2003 or 22 years ago. All the speculation is simply that, speculation. Also, I think this was an important tweet he put there. He said, understand that when I talked about how easy it was to circumvent drug testing back in 2003, it was because there was no drug testing for EPO or growth hormone. They only use the TE ratio. I don't know if that's testosterone or whatever that is, and not the current test used for synthetic testosterone called ERMS or IRMS, I guess. IRMS, I'm not sure. You cannot apply statements made made over 20 years ago to today's testing. The testing had improved a lot. Many in boxing seem to think that they are experts at drug testing, and they are not. Speculation is not credible evidence of anything except suspicion. So what he sounds like he's saying right there is that when he commented on and was questioned about being able to circumvent drug testing and being able to cheat the system, a lot of people hang their hat on that, saying that one of the things that make Victor Conte dangerous to the sport is he knows how to cheat the system. Sounds like he's basically saying that this was something 20 years ago he was able to do. Drug testing has become way more complicated now, way more way more being tested, way better, way more evolved, and not something that can be done today as easy as it was back then. What do you think about that statement about the evolution of drug testing and where we are today?
I think it speaks a lot to the criteria of what the agencies are willing to put up with and what they are investigating, how they bring things in, and how they have changed the method of testing. It makes it easier and more recognizable. And it's only going to get better. So, I mean, with him saying that, the game is going to change. It's going to get tighter restrictions and things of that nature. So, I think it's good. Straight up.
On X Clay, read my response on X Clay. I'll look for it. I guess I don't know if you have it on there, but at the end of the day, once again, integrity and doing something criminal. I know people who I want to keep this, as I know criminals. I think all of us know criminals. I know criminals who have integrity as well. More importantly, I know criminals who don't have integrity. I know criminals who their word is their bond. And I hold that based on the experience I've had with the criminal, knowing them for years, to understand that, might have shot somebody, might have sold a whole lot of drugs, might have, assaulted people, but still never questioning that person's integrity because they've always showed honor and honesty in multiple different ways. And the reason I say that is to say that Victor Conte has a past, but does he have a past for lying enough to where people can't believe a word that he says? And be clear. If we can hold Victor Conte to being a liar because of a criminal past, then I'm going to ask everybody to audit themselves and ask, have they ever been lied? Have they ever lied? And if you have lied, what credibility do you bring to the space to be able to throw a rock? And why should I believe anything that comes out of your mouth? We act high and mighty sometimes because it fuels our argument. It helps us on our stance. But from the outside looking in, you look stank. You look smelly, because we all know how disingenuous it is to sit there and make everything that comes out of somebody's mouth now a lie because of something they did in the past. I guarantee you, if I audit 9.5, maybe even a full 10 out of 10 people in this building, I can come up with an argument to why we shouldn't even listen to you speak.
Right.
I bet you money I could do it. That I can, if I was to get access to your life, I could reference something you've done and ask you directly eye to eye, why in the hell should I even listen to you? Look at what you did 7 years ago. Look at what you did 10 years ago, bro. Why do you even think you should be able to talk to me? You are a proven liar. Here you are in this scenario being caught red-handed as a liar. Why should I listen to you? The reality is that would make me a hypocrite to do something like that. Because I promise you, if you look over my past, you're going to be able to audit and find moments where I didn't shine and show my best selves, and I could lose credibility on speaking in multiple different subjects as well. The reality is, more than likely, Victor Conte's perspective and understanding of drug testing is accurate, credible, and probably one of the most credible sources of information when it comes to performance enhancement drugs in the space, maybe somebody like a Victor Conte. There's a good chance that if you want to know about performance enhancement drug testing, you want to understand the ins and outs of the sport, the loopholes, all the ways that athletes cheat, maybe the best reference of information would be Victor Conte, right? So I saw 2 cents put in here that getting let me put it up here. Hold on a second. Let me put up what she said here. Wait, hold on 1 second here. I want to go right to it. That way I don't have to sum it up and say, hold on a second. I wonder why they're going to say that now. You can't be suspicious. Victor himself. You should believe him. Wasn't if you get convicted of crimes. Oh God, she's been saying a lot. Let me see here. It was something along the lines of basically, I can't find it. You know what I mean? But it was basically along the lines of him co-signing Terence Crawford is not a good thing. It's not a good look for Terence. I pushed back at that and said, who better? You know what I'm saying? To speak for Terence Crawford's performance enhancement drug history than somebody who's going to present you with the documentation from the test results from VADA, and also somebody who knows about drug cheats. It is what it is, right? He did what he did. I think sometimes we put a lot of weight on the back of the fact that he was caught. And I don't think we shed enough light on the fact that there's multiple hundreds of scientists, doctors, whatever you want to call them in the game that do the same thing Victor does. And 9 out of 10 times, these guys are spread through your favorite fighters' camps. You can find them. You can find them, the nutritionist guy, the guy who's in charge of your supplements and everything like that. Don't think for one moment if there's an opportunity for him to put something in there that will not show up on the test but will improve your athletic abilities, that he will not do it. Right. Or has not done it already. Like roaches, when you see one, there's probably 1,000 in the walls, right? Like, just because he got caught doesn't mean anything.
Right. Clay, let me tap into something that you said there, right? Because yesterday somebody asked, I was in the chat, I think it was I don't know if it was Cornelius yesterday. I was in the chat yesterday. Someone asked me who else got caught besides Victor Conte. Now let's play this by ear. Just by throwing this out there, did Scooter get caught? Or with Ryan, because they blame Scooter, right? So didn't he get caught as a person that of interest?
He didn't get caught.
No. He didn't get caught. His name was out there, right? So basically, he would have got caught because everybody was blaming him for Osterine. So the point that what you're saying is I don't
know. I just look at being caught.
No. I know. Okay, but yes. What I'm saying is that was a question. So his name came up with the Osterine situation. So if it came up with the Osterine thing, I know it wasn't you. No doubt. My bad. But anyway, if it came up with the Osterine situation, you know what I mean? There's other athletes in other sports where there were trainers. McGee with Roger Clemens. We had Mark, what's the name? I forgot his name. Barry Bonds. These guys were all sentenced to jail. Though their athletes were never caught, Roger Clemens' trainer said he gave it to him. So multiple people have came out and said that they have done this and found ways of cheating. So it's not just a scientist or this. It could be a nutritionist, it could be a trainer, it could be somebody behind the scenes, somebody that just knows what builds better, whatever. So we gotta, like, in my opinion, is when you say that he's the only one that got caught, that's not true, because when you start name dropping like Ryan did and said that it was Scooter that gave him the supplements, and Scooter's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Everyone was so quick to push Scooter under the bus with that, is what I'm saying. So technically, either other people have gotten involved in this situation by name, or Victor's the only guy. Which one is it? That's what I'm trying to get at, because they say Victor's the only one. That's what I'm saying.
No doubt. And I just think he's the most notorious, you know what I'm saying?
Of course. That's the best way of saying it, yes.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So he's the biggest one to be caught. He was caught in the biggest scandal, in one of the biggest, if not the biggest scandals in sports history. Shout out to hold on a second. We got some call in the chat from C. Irvin the Wiz. He says, I think y'all just choose who you want to let off the hook. If it puts your favorite fighter in a bad light, y'all on cleanup duty. Just my opinion. I don't know if that's like a direct shot at us or to the space, but either way, I can speak to it, right? And I'll say this. First of all, I'm not letting Victor Conte off the hook at all, right? But I think that when we're putting jackets on clean fighters who have never popped on test because of their affiliation with a product that Victor puts out there, I think there's a certain point of, okay, we can hold Victor Conte accountable for what he's done in the past. I'm not going to defend Victor Conte because he doesn't need to be defended. He did what he did, and he's choosing to actually be in a combat sport. So obviously going to be scrutinized. Like I said, if I have a history of laundering money or playing games with people's bank accounts, and a bank decides to hire me, then that bank is going to fall under the scrutiny of having somebody on their staff who's been convicted of doing this. I have no issues with that, right? But the people who work in the bank, you know what I mean, who haven't been caught doing nothing, it's one thing to put that jacket on them. You know what I mean? It's just a whole different conversation, right? So a lot of things have to be able to coexist in the same space. Victor Conte has been convicted what he's been convicted for. Matter of fact, I actually want to speak on that as well, because there's also a narrative out there saying that Victor Conte operates in some sort of capacity for VADA, right? Well, let's allow Victor Conte to speak on his own behalf about this, and unless people can prove this wrong, sometimes you just got to take it on face value for what it is, because the reality is you don't have the answers, right? But here's some perspectives of somebody who's involved in it, and it's never been proven or debunked, right, by VADA maybe putting out a statement saying that he's there, or that, or by somebody who's, it's never been debunked, right? Just a whole lot of speculation. But here's Victor Conte speaking directly to the speculation. He says that the idea that I currently have a close existing relationship with VADA is false, right? I've heard this for years. I've known this, heard this, understood this to be this way, but people choose to move the way they want to move with it. It says, for many years ago, I provided consultation to WADA, the actual testing agency who tests everybody, who all your favorite USADAs and all your different test collectors go to test their specimens.
Right.
And USADA, the other one that people have, from the Ryan Garcias to the Teofimo Lopez's, have stated that they wanted to collect their specimens because they had an issue with VADA as well. And of course, VADA, right? This was per the request of each entity. And why would these entities request Victor Conte's expertise advice? Because of his experience in performance enhancement drugs, his convictions, his success of what he did, as well as him being convicted and recognized as one of the top leading sources of information when it comes to performance enhancement drug testing. So naturally, these entities reached out to Victor and said, man, we want your advice and your thoughts on how we're trying to approach this. As somebody who's claiming to support testing in the sport, help us out so we can create our system around catching these athletes who are using performance enhancement drugs, right? He says they were all seeking my input about how I circumvented the drug testing. That makes sense, right? How did you do it? So that we can put in protocols and firewalls in here to get in front of these things so we don't get caught up, so we can catch these guys. And what did he do? He said, I provided such info to all of them in an effort to help them create more effective testing programs. My hope was that this would contribute to the clean sport. There has never been any type of unethical behavior. Boxing is a dangerous sport and needs effective testing. Very simple, right? And some of your favorite fighters from the most respected fighters in the game, like Daenerys and David Benavidez, who pushed to have David Morrell tested by VADA, right? Some of your favorite athletes who are in the VADA testing pool, who stand by and support VADA, as VADA is one of the best companies and company with the most results in catching people using performance enhancement drugs, right? Seek out the advice from Victor Conte. Now, it's very easy for people to sit back right now and say, man, they lying. That's an easy way to handle it. I get it, right? We can just take that easy way out and just keep it 100 and be like, he's lying. We don't listen to those guys, right? It is what it is. It is. Well, what do you think about that as far as what Victor Conte said right there?
I agree. That's actually what I was building on earlier. Actually, I don't know if you kind of like dissected what I said. That's basically what I was going with, is that they use him he's there for information. He's there to give them better programming, better ways of defending or pushing back against people that cheat. And on the other note, Clay, just to say something, and just me answering this question, my favorite fighters are not Blair Cobbs, Clarissa Shields, Ray Muratalla, Mario Barrios, Bam Rodriguez, Rayo Venezuela, Kyron Davis, Virgil Ortiz, Joshua Buatsi, or Sammy Worthington. None of those are my favorite fighters, by the way. So just to say that, I respect them all. None of those are. I don't defend them. I don't defend Devin. I don't defend none of these people. What I'm saying is that you guys target 2 to 3 fighters just for this, but yet you leave out those fighters that are also included, including Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Bud Crawford, Andrade, Caleb Plant. We can keep going. I'm not going to. Not to mention the other side of the street. You keep saying that all these fighters are linked to VADA, but nobody mentions that Earl Spence was one of the pioneers of saying they needed year-round testing to test fighters, but nobody questioned that. Nonito Donaire, as he said, was on 365 prior to that. And then to say that 365 doesn't exist, we just elaborated on it yesterday when Clay said that the UFC has been doing 365 for about 5 to 6 years now. And the reason why they do it is because they catch people outside. More than that. There you go. They've been catching people outside the game. Conor McGregor literally just put out a video yesterday saying that he's done his first test and he can't wait to get back in the ring, octagon. So
which means he has no fight scheduled and he has to get in the testing pool in order to be matchmade.
Right, with 365, right? Yeah. So all that bogus nonsense about 365 and all these things and the false claims are just fan-based, real fan-based, based on your favorite fighter not doing something. And I'm not mistaken, isn't Kyron Davis associated with another fighter, Clay?
Kyron, I know he works with Breadman. I don't know if he's associated with Canelo, I guess. I know that he sparred with Canelo for a long time.
Right. So, but for all these guys not to be out there and be to not be mentioned or linked to Victor Conte and all these things.
I'm trying to find it. I know I see what 2 Cents said his response. I don't see it. I don't know. Is it which message did you respond to? I'll look for it in tab. That's what I was doing while Ray was talking. I was actually looking at. I can't find it.
No doubt. No, in all due respect, though, man. Listen, it is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their opinions and their thoughts. But I ain't never capped for no fighter.
Yeah, 2 Cents. 100% UFC uses VADA. 100%. And once again, you're attaching VADA and Victor Conte, and that's just to show you right there, your statement right there. Take it for whatever it's worth, but you put it there. You said UFC uses VADA. Dana can't stand Victor. So what does that say?
There you go. Exactly.
What does that say? You put it out there. You put it out there, right? So UFC factually uses VADA. That's a fact. Look it up. I don't got to speculate. It is what it is, right? There's no changing that. It's not going nowhere. At your leisure, you have access to Google. You'll see that VADA, that UFC.
Everybody screenshot
that. That being said, you said Dana can't stand Victor. So do you think that he would affiliate with VADA, somebody who's working with Victor Conte? Take that for whatever it's worth, right?
There you go.
I don't see the response, by the way. If you want to put in there where it's at, it is what it is.
She should be able to pull it up and send it to you.
Probably. Yeah, it is what it is. Wait, you heard? I heard Dana say out his own mouth that he don't use VADA because he don't like Victor. So Dana said it, not me. Hold on a second here.
You need to find that.
Let's just do it like this real quick here. UFC, because that VADA's the one who caught John Jones,
right? And that's what they're using for, like I said, for Conor and Ben, because he just did his test. He just posted the video.
You might be right.
And Conor McGregor. Keep saying Conor Ben.
Oh yeah, they don't have a formal relationship. The fighters are choosing to use VADA. They use VADA. So who do they use? Is it USADA? Well, no, they don't work with USADA anymore either. Well, they were at one point. I don't know. You might be right. You might be right. You might be right. Let me see here. DFSI will only be the sample collector. Okay, DFSI will only be the sample collector under the new program and will not have any authority to adjudicate violations. Athlete samples will be analyzed by WADA. Okay, so no, they're not using VADA. You're right. They're not using VADA. Well, yeah, as a company, they're not using VADA. The fighters can use it. That's interesting. You learn something new every day. Salute to
2 Cents. Shout out to 2 Cents for breaking news.
Yeah. 2 Cents is right. Yeah. They don't officially use them in an official capacity, but they do have 24/7, 365 over there. I know that's a fact. So I guess the other companies are using 24/7, 365 as well. Is that safe to say that then? Yeah, Josh said it ended in 2023.
Right.
Yeah. So it is what it is, though, as far as the affiliation, right? As far as the affiliation, I also wanted to go into as far as the circumventing of drug testing, right? As far as the ability to circumvent it, because you heard Victor Conte speak on being able to circumvent the testing, right? So here he is speaking on designer steroids and the fact that he told you earlier in that first tweet that that's what they were using back in the day. He said the last designer detected was in 2003. They've since stopped using all designers because they changed the testing procedure. So there have been no undetectable steroids for more than 20 years. So it's not easy to circumvent the testing anymore. Most haters don't understand this. Boxers are using the other drugs between fights when there is no testing. That is why 24/7, 365 testing is needed, and why boxers to try to delay testing may be possibly be using drugs. So basically speaking to the idea that the only way to actually stay on point with catching these fighters is a testing pool, is a 365 24/7 testing pool, which makes sense. Fighters will use performance enhancement drugs when they're not in fights, and then they'll cycle off. They'll use IVs and things of that nature to clean their system. And if you're not testing them year round, fighters can be using the drugs, cycling off the drugs, but still benefiting off of the results of what the drugs gave them, the ability to build muscle and be in a certain amount of shape and all the above. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, without actually popping on these tests, how much weight and how does it look to put a jacket on somebody like a Terence Crawford because of an affiliation of a product by Victor Conte snack? Why put that jacket on him? You could be suspicious of him and continue to look for his testing and look at him and look at him closely, but how do we sit here and say that the man is juicing when he hasn't popped on any test? Does that make it? I don't understand. What goes on here? But Devin, the only fighter in 365, that's why it don't make sense. I don't understand why that doesn't make any sense either. I'm going to open up the panel too for you 2 cents to come up. Why? What does that mean? He's the only fighter in 365? Is he the only fighter allowed in 365 or the only one willing to be in 365? What doesn't make sense about that? Why wouldn't we want more athletes in the combat sports to jump into a pool that tests them 365? And why is it suspicious that he jumped into 365? Is it, I don't know, like why? Why is him being in 365 a suspicious thing? Let me see here. Oh, she just said some other 2 cents. If you don't mind adding some context or some perspective on that. Why is Devin Haney the only fighter in 365 significant, and why does it not make sense? Okay, boom. It don't make sense for him to be the only one in it because it's not more fighters. So is the effectiveness of 365 testing based on how many people are willing to be in it? I just want to understand that. You said it don't make sense for him to be there the only one. It's sus because it's not more fighters. What's sus about it?
Yeah, why is getting tested?
Okay. I'm gonna drop the link right quick.
Please explain that.
Yeah, I want to know.
Why is getting tested more often to say that I'm clean to prove it bad?
Hold on. There's the link right quick. I know you're driving to work, so go ahead and hit it. That's just for 2 cents, by the way. We're not opening the panel up. Why is it sus that more fighters haven't enrolled? More fighters haven't enrolled because they don't want to be tested. Salute to 2 cents in the building. What's good, Queen?
What up, y'all? I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna head back in the gym. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's suspicious for Devin to be in 365. I'm saying the fact that Devin's the only one. It's thousands of boxers. This is the solution to make sure fighters aren't cheating, to catch people cycling on and off, and you only have one fighter signed up for it. I'm saying it's suspicious because why aren't more fighters signed up for this? Why can't Victor Conte get his own snack fighters to sign up for this? Like he said out of his own mouth. You have to, this is the issue, right? Nobody has a problem with these 365 or if it's bad or if it's this, right? I go to the next level. I say, okay, if this is the solution to the problem, why aren't Victor been in boxing over a decade preaching this 365? This the answer, this to that, this to that. But I can count on my hand how many fighters have actually signed up for this solution to this great problem of people cheating in boxing? In my opinion, that's why I'm like, this seems a little weird to me. Like, how the fuck nobody's signing up, but you've been pushing this for over a decade and you've only got 3 people or 4 people to sign up for this? That's why I'm saying it's a question mark to me. Because
wait, hold on. Let me add some context to this and try to respond to this. I know you have a limited amount of time. So if fighters, first of all, testing costs money, right? Unlike other organizations like the UFC who will pay for the testing, fighters are paying out their pockets for something like that. 365 is something paid out the pockets or removed from the purse. Is money involved, right? So that's enough incentive for a fighter not to jump into something like that, right? Number 2, it's very invasive, right? So if a fighter's on 365 testing, that means anytime, even if they don't have a fight lined up, somebody can come knock on their door and have them take blood or urine or just, very intrusive. I got to share my location wherever I'm at. So I don't think that's a very comfortable thing. I don't think a lot of fighters would choose to do that, right? And if fighters choose not to be inside of a 365 testing pool and they're not being tested and they don't want to be tested, if a fighter doesn't like being tested, then naturally they wouldn't get inside of a 365 pool. I think that sheds more light on the abundance of drug cheating going on in the combat sports, to the fact that fighters will be adverse to being vulnerable enough to have themselves tested year round. I think they know that shows how many fighters are probably using performance enhancement drugs, right? Like, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to cycle off, be comfortable, do what I do outside of competing, outside of getting ready for a fight, that keeps me physically ready when a fight comes. I can naturally cycle off, have a date that I know testing can start, get out of any accountability. That's what it says. It doesn't show suspicion towards the test to the 365 testing not being valid. It shows that fighters don't want to be tested.
That's what I'm saying. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Okay. This isn't a matter of validity, right? This is what I'm saying, and I'm gonna hop off, right? It's too expensive, Clay. I don't think it's necessarily a matter of fighter. It's too expensive and it's too evasive. I don't think it's a matter of fighters cheating and they don't want to do it. That could be part of it for some people, but realistically, it's the money. Like, let's be for real. The promoters ain't willing to pay it. The managers ain't willing to pay it. The boxers ain't willing to pay it. All I'm saying is, I come into an industry with a solution that most likely people ain't gonna do, right? You would agree this 365 shit is just spinning your wheels. You could agree with that, right?
Well, I don't know about spinning the wheels necessarily what that means, but I do agree that it's expensive, and I think getting fighters to voluntarily do it is going to be difficult, close to damn near impossible for people to do. So
what's the point of it then, Clay? What's the point of it, Clay?
I think the point of it is what Victor's pushing for and what Bill Haney's pushing for is to make it more part of the agreements, right? Like, make it part of, don't put it in the fighter's hand.
And after 13 years, how has that worked out, though? Well, after over a decade, how has that worked?
All right, I'm hearing you, right? But what I don't understand is, how is the push for it suspicious?
Negative.
The push for it makes sense. If 365 testing didn't cost,
but not if nobody's signing up. Like, you missing it. Like, you missing it.
Wait, hold on. Wait, Ray, everybody. Yes, people don't want to pay for it. That is a problem, right? But it doesn't mean drop it. It means we need to find a way to get around the financial part of it. So let me ask you this question. If 365 testing cost nothing extra, would you be more in support of 365 testing in the spirit of having a clean sport? Do you agree that 365 testing helps the sport be cleaner, to be able to test somebody all year round?
That's not my argument, though. Like I'm not against 365. I don't think 365 wouldn't help the sport be cleaner. Like, that's none of that is my argument, right?
Okay.
My argument is, you've been doing this for over a decade. You're saying it's the solution to the problem.
Is it? However, do you agree that it is a solution to the problem? Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah. It'll help. If all the fighters were signed up for 365 testing, they wouldn't be able to cheat because they would be getting caught cycling on and cycling off. None of that is my argument, right?
Okay.
My argument is, this has been 365 has been around for over a decade. Clay, listen to what I'm saying. It's been around for over a decade. It's still too expensive. Nobody's still signing up for it. Promoters, managers, fighters are still unwilling to pay for it. So at this point, what is 365 solving? The only fighter signed up for 365 right now is Devin Haney, the only one. And all of the fighters that have signed up for 365 have been sponsored by Victor. Which fighter signed up for 365 and paid it themselves?
All right. So I understand I'm just trying to understand what's the suspicion though? When you say you're suspicious of something or it looks suspicious, what do you mean by that? What do you mean it looks suspicious? Like, because I understand the difficulty of getting this going, the 365 testing, that it's expensive and that it's something that's going to be
maybe suspicious is the wrong word. Maybe suspicious is the wrong word.
Okay, what's the word?
What's the word? Because like, are we gonna go another decade? Like, what's next with the 365? Devin Haney's the only one signed up. Now what? Then what? Like, we keep talking about the 365, but nobody's even signed up for it.
Well, I think what Devin is showing, and now that you have somebody like Turki Al-Sheikh in the game, right? Somebody who's bringing infusing a lot of money into the game. I think there's a campaign to.
Turki Al-Sheikh is paying for 8 weeks, Clay. He's not paying for 365.
I understand. I'm saying the ability, right? The financial ability to make this part of big fights at least, right? Because everybody isn't tested equally. We know that the bottom under the top 10, they're not getting tested like they're supposed to. That's why they're getting caught when they get into the top 10. That's when they're getting caught because the testing gets a lot more, intrusive once you get into the top 10 of boxing or any combat sport. So I think the campaign is a honorable campaign that should not be given up. I think keeping the pressure is important because eventually if 365 does go through and end up becoming something, I would say there's an argument there to say that it would never become what it is at that time. If it's 10, 20, 30 years down the line, whatever it is, it doesn't show up if the space doesn't get behind it and show how effective it is. So that's
exactly, the space is not behind it. So we're gonna have to wait another decade for the space to get behind it.
I don't know that the space isn't behind it. I think the space.
You do know because nobody signed up. That's how you know the space isn't behind it.
It doesn't make that the case.
Hold on, Ray. Hold on. Let me just get this moment. It does not make the 365 testing not supported by the space. It makes the money being spent on testing not supported by the space. If the money can be circumvented in a way that makes sense so that the fighters aren't taking out of their own purses to pay huge amounts of money for the testing, I think most of the space understands how effective 365 would be theoretically, like the science of it, the idea of it. If you're trying to make the sport clean, testing 365 24/7 a year makes complete sense. The problem is the money being spent by the fighters out their pockets. So if that can be addressed, then 365 becomes very realistic. And I co-sign Victor Conte on this one note. I do believe that that's the only way to truly get in front of the drug testing the drug cheating that's going on in boxing. I think making it to where fighters can get caught anytime during the year is the only way to truly discourage them from cheating. So leaving that 365 testing in the wind because the current model it's under isn't effective doesn't make sense. You're giving in to drug cheats. You're giving in and saying that there's nothing we can do about it, and therefore we're going to have an even dirtier sport. No, the fight is what needs to remain, just like civil rights, just like anything that's ever happened in history. Without a fight, years, commitment, dedication to wanting something to happen in a certain way, it won't move that way. To give into it because fighters don't want to spend the money, that's like giving into your kid not wanting to clean their room and just being like, you know what? They ain't never going to clean their room no matter what I do. So I'm just going to
I'm about to hop off, Clay, not to cut you off, but I never said give into. I never said any of those things that you mentioned, but I'm going to say this before I hop off. So the focus shouldn't be getting fighters signed up for 365 right now. The focus needs to be finding a more affordable option for these fighters to be able to do that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. Yes. And I think that's what Bill did, right? Like, didn't Bill pay for it out of his own pocket? Wasn't that what he offered or something like that?
Yeah, but Bill not paying for his own 365 test and he being sponsored by Victor.
So I mean, I don't know. That's probably true, but what I'm saying is I've heard him say that he's willing to pay for people's testing that are going to fight against him at least. Right? Am I bugging? Didn't I hear that before?
Oh, I don't know because that's a whole nother question.
Right.
Like,
So what I'm saying is it does need to be addressed, right? Forcing fighters to pay for something out their pocket is ridiculous. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. But it needs to be addressed. But I think the idea of 365 getting shots thrown at it, to me, it's kind of, I got way more perspective from talking to you about this. And to be honest with you, I think the word suspicious kind of added a certain aftertaste to it.
Yeah, because my thing is just that you come in, this is my thing, right? And I'm gonna hop off. You come into a business, you're officially a cheater. You say, hey, I'm an advocate, I want to stop cheating, I got the solution, here's the solution right here. But you giving a solution that you know is too expensive and a lot of people ain't gonna sign up for and pay for, in my opinion. It's been over a decade. We've seen how it worked. We ain't talking about making no changes, no adjustments, trying to figure out cheaper pricing. All we keep crying about is 365. They need to sign up. They need to this. When really the real issue is you need to get promoters, managers, and fighters on board to agree to the 365 testing if that's really the solution. And then we need to figure out a pricing that people are going to be willing to pay for. Because those fighters that ain't in the top of the tip top, they can't afford that shit. Like, let's be honest, they can't afford that. So if we really want to get this space cleaned up, really, right? And we not just, it's not quote unquote a front, because that's what it's given to me, in my opinion. Let's talk about the real issues and why the people are not doing it. We don't discuss that. We skip over that and say, oh, if they don't want to do 365, they cheating. No, it's several other reasons why they don't want to do 365. And money, I can guarantee you, is the number one reason. So what is the solution to that? What is the solution to getting it cheap for more people to sign up? Victor, this shit been going on for over a decade, and you telling me we haven't addressed that issue, but this is the solution? But the solution, I can count on one hand how many people was willing to participate in the solution, and those people that did participate in the solution, you sponsored them? Like, I'm just saying, none of that shit making sense to me, my 2 cents. But I'm gonna hop off here. It was good chit-chatting with you. I gotta go back in this gym.
Go get it in. Go put it in. Thanks for coming up. I think her points are super valid, right? I think they are valid. I think the idea is, I think the energy needs to be focused on the cost, on the convenience of it, because as long as the fighters have a choice, they're going to pick convenience over inconvenience. I don't think that fighters who are choosing not to be in 365 testing are all cheating. I do believe, though, that fighters who aren't in 365 24/7 testing have an opportunity to cheat. And I think that window of opportunity is a big reason as to why the ones who are cheating are cheating. I think the ones who don't want to cheat, the clean fighters are clean fighters. I think a clean fighter is a clean fighter. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. But the dirty fighters are benefiting off of not being tested 365.
Okay, and I disagree with some of that statement, because I'm going to say this first and foremost. Like you mentioned, there are fighters that can afford it. What about those fighters that can afford it? Why aren't they signing up? What are they hiding? Because obviously, if it's a payment thing, what about the top 20, 30 fighters that make money in the game? Why aren't they signing right up if that's such a good program, right? To her point, that is not so good, but it's because of price. So price is there for the people that can afford it. If there is a problem, I mean, they do have a clean boxing program with the WBC. How many fighters that are not signed up with the WBC because of the clean boxing program? So 365 is just another reason for somebody just to use an excuse of people not wanting to test because they're dirty, right? If they're going to test in and out, or they're going to shoot up or dope out or use IVs, whatever the case may be, they're doing it while they are cycling throughout off season, off training. And this is the reason why the results show. So when you get into training, all that stuff's out your system. You already got the results. So now you're moving forward with something. Then it makes people that make weight a little harder. It makes recovery a lot faster. All these things are capable of being reasons why people are not doing it. The suspicion are the people, if it's Devin Haney that's a suspect, or now I know she's not saying that, but to most people, they keep saying the ties of Victor and Vada is the reason why he's dirty or he's cheating, right? Because it's a ties. Well, what about the people that are not LinkedIn that are getting tested by VADA that won't take 365 that makes over $1 million a fight. What about those guys? They can afford it. So why aren't they involved? Why won't they step up and do it? So the point is, there's a lot of questions behind that, and we can't limit it to just because they can't afford it.
It's not about not being able to afford it exclusively, right?
Argument.
But no, it's not the whole argument. If I don't, my money's my money. Demanding me to spend my money in a way I don't have to doesn't go well with me. If you want me to do something, you pay for it. If I have to do it, you should have to pay for it. I don't have to pay nothing else except for my training camp, my nutritionist, the things that benefit me, that help me out to compete at the highest level. Testing doesn't help me out. It helps you out and helps the other guy out. So if I got to pay for it, if it needs to be paid for, it should be something that is removed off the table, because once you remove me having to pay for it, then there's no reason for me not to test it. Dirty fighters are going to be dirty fighters. They're going to find a way and try to cheat. We're not talking about those guys, right? What we are talking about is if the boxing space in total is being pressured to be put inside of a 365 testing pool, the cost of the testing has to be factored into how willing people are willing to do the test. Counting somebody's pockets and saying you can afford it, that's very bold and entitled to somebody else to play with somebody else's money that way and just speak boldly about how they spend their money. It's easy to say that, right? It's easy to look at me, come to my crib, see me using cheap toilet paper and throw shots at me and say I can spend more money. I can afford to do more things that I'm choosing to do with my money. That's a very entitled position to take, to speak on my money for me as if you helping me make the money, right? But it's another thing to say that, listen, this testing model provides a way to give us more assurity of keeping the whole space clean. At the end of the day, if the sanctioning bodies and the athletic commissions and the people who are supposed to be supervising, looking over the sport to keep it clean, the people who are holding you accountable when you get caught dirty, see an advantage in it, then it's up to them. And keep in mind, the sanctioning bodies are collecting fees, right? When you
that's what I'm trying to go into, but you know,
when you speak like all right, then. So I'm going to let you get it right in a second.
No, cool.
What you said was the fighters can afford it. There's fighters who can't afford it.
That was one of the arguments. Okay, yeah. Let me
wait. I'm going to let you get at it. I want to finish my thought as well. So I'm going to let you get at it. That's not where I was.
I'm good. We can move on. Go ahead.
No, I'm not moving on. I'm going to finish saying what I was
saying. Do what you got to do.
But there we go. Cool. So that being said, the sanctioning bodies and the people who are looking over the entire sport need to address it and find a way to make it to where that is no longer an excuse. The affordability, the money coming out of people's pockets. You're collecting sanctioning fees, 3%, whatever the percentage is that you're collecting. People like Errol Spence have spoken about this. They've gone on stages to say, what are you guys doing with the money? How is that helping the sport, the fighters, you know, even with insurance and things of that nature? All those things would address the costs that fighters are being forced to come out of their pockets to provide peace of mind for other fighters or for, you know, the boxing space, because at the end of the day, it benefits you, doesn't benefit me. Me being clean doesn't benefit me. Me being dirty benefits me. If anything, me being clean benefits you, because if I come in the ring juiced up, you're the one who's taking the L by me getting punched on you. So if you feel like it's something big, you either pay for it out your pocket or you get the sanctioning bodies to control it. Me, I'm going to do the bare minimum, and whatever saves me the most money is what I'm going to do. And there's always the Pandora box theory about this as well. What does the Pandora box theory say? The Pandora box theory says if I start to agree to do certain things, it will never, I'm opening up the box to you saying there's other things I can afford and I should pay out my pocket. So the precedence has to be set and be clear up front about how they're going to approach this. 365 is a good theory. It's a good model. It makes sense, but the cost of it is getting in the way of it being involved in the biggest fights in the world. And the idea of putting the cost on the back end of the fighter's purse is just never going to be a good sell. It's going to be a very hard sell to make that happen that way. Period. That's how I see it. Go ahead.
Of course. Look, man. I've been trying to say the whole thing that you just said, but you guys take over and you guys
So
start
let
talking.
me ask you this: you feel like you're taking over. Why did you say the fighters could afford it?
Because the point of you guys saying that who can afford it, that was a big part of y'all conversation that y'all had about who can afford it, why, and I answered that part right there. I started off with that. The whole other part of the conversation was why, when they paid 3% in sanctions, right? And I was going to the Earl Spence thing when the WC also has a free VADA testing clinic, right? They use it for free clean boxing. Why not implement that in part of their sanctioning fees? Why not add a little bit more to that in each section of body? Why doesn't the commissions of each state, when they get a purse or whatever they get in collections from the promoters or whoever it is, the venues, wherever they get, and they get these licenses out, why don't they set a fee aside for that? That's what I was getting at. There's plenty of money to be shared to make these tests happen. It doesn't have to just be on the boxers. No, it doesn't. But at the same time, if we're talking about the boxers complaining about it, which is a big point of this whole thing, because that's what they're doing, the boxers are complaining, then that should run on the pockets of the boxers if they're the ones complaining about it and then wanting to have something done about it. Either speak up to the sanctioning bodies or come out of your $1 million purses that you make and pay for it your damn self. Other people are doing it, right? Devin's doing it. Nonito had to deal with it because he was an experiment of the project, of the program. So you know what? Get behind it. Maybe negotiate something with them. Listen, why don't we work with these guys, and then we minimize the price so that way it's not killing us. It's not taking away from our money. There's a lot of reasons and a lot of things that can happen. The excuses of only one person is involved because of this and because he has ties with Victor, that's bullshit. Doesn't matter who you have ties with, because there's a lot of people in ties with Victor that deal with Snap, that deal with Zimma. And none of those people are paying for it, and they're not in 365. So that's an excuse that they're using just to throw shit under the water and blame people. Because right now you're going to hear that Terrence is something or something else next week because they look to blame people that work with Victor. And VADA and Victor have nothing to do with each other because Victor has worked with every drug agency in the United States. And it even clearly says it on a lot of his pages and a lot of his situations. He gives them information on better testing. But this whole thing about, it has to be one way or the other, it doesn't. It just has to make sense. And it ain't going to make sense until people start putting their minds together and stop beefing over why should I test and why shouldn't this person test and this person's dirty and that person's dirty. And the story. I'm good.
Yeah, here's where I'm at with it. Just keep it simple because I think you went in a lot of different directions, right?
I did.
I think that at the end of the day, it's way more simpler, right?
It is.
The pressure is not on the fighters to make 365 work. It's not on them. It is on the sanctioning bodies, the athletic commissions, the people who supervise over the testing in combat sports. It is on them to figure out how to implement this in a super cost-effective way. They have to take it. The excuse will always be legitimate for me if a fighter says, but I got to pay for it out of my pocket. That is a reason to not do it. If you're going to force me to do it and that's a requirement, then that's a different conversation. I think that's also foul, but it is a different conversation because now the obligation does fall on me whether I like it or I don't like it. But as long as I have an option as to whether I spend my money or I don't spend my money, 9.5 out of 10 times, I'm going to choose not to spend my money.
Okay.
When it comes to the cost of the testing, if you make it free or you cover the cost and make it free to the fighter, now the pressure can go onto the fighters because it's on them and the question becomes legitimate. Why are you not in a testing pool that is completely zero cost to you? Now the space can hold the fighters accountable. But as long as that cost is there for the fighter, he has a legitimate argument as to why he's not in 365 testing. It's a legitimate argument. It's not a pointless argument. It's not about counting his pockets. It's legit. If I got to buy it, the reason I don't use it, I can legitimately tell you it's because I got to spend my money on it. And it comes down to that. So the pressure is not on the fighters. Now, as far as the suspicion, which she took it back because I think she realizes that part throws shots at the effectiveness of the testing. or the effectiveness or the end result of having 365 testing. There is no suspicion to 365. It's just that how come all of these years we've been pushing this idea of 365 testing, and we know how effective it is and how much it would make the sport a safer sport. Why hasn't the sport figured a way to circumvent this high cost and not put it on the fighters after all these years and continue to have them have the pressure and the responsibility of spending money out their pockets when they're already dishing out percentages of their purses already just to operate under a sanctioning body, just to have a interim title, a national, intercontinental version of a title. All the ways that these sanctioning bodies find their ways to get involved in all these fights in different capacities, to charge these fighters percentages of their purses, to have them even be ranked at times. Why isn't that money that you guys are making not being pushed in the direction that helps the sport be cleaner?
Great point. You know? And I agree. And I will never take that away from anybody making that statement. I'm just saying that there are plenty of ways, just like you just mentioned, to facilitate this. And if it has to come out the cost of a fighter to have to be happy and be clean, right? If somebody thinks a fighter's dirty, then if that's what they feel they need to do to be clean, then let them figure it out, right? Negotiate it, do whatever you got to do. The promoters make enough money too. It's not just on the commissions. It's a lot of people involved behind the scenes. What I always stated, and I always feel, and I guess TKO will be going along these lines if people aren't happy with TKO boxing, but I guess they'll be going on, is having a committee. You need to have a committee where boxers' voices can be heard and other people of boxing can be heard. The fans can be heard. Because once you have some type of established committee, then it helps bring resources like VADA testing, 365, or things of that nature to the game. And as long as you don't have nothing like that and it's established outside and being an individual idea that I can take it or I don't have to take it, it's going to always raise questions. And then who's reaping the benefits of the question right now? Devin Haney? No, he's on it and he's getting criticized for being on it. People are saying he's a cheat. So at the end of the day, we have to look at it all together of where do we go with this? Like I said, I'm good. I'm good on this. We good though.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but like I said, it's convoluted. It's a lot of things in one thing. But I think as far as the topic of discussion, which is making 365 something that everybody can be involved in, it falls on the commission. It falls on the athletic commission. It falls on the sanctioning bodies. It falls on the ability to make this mandatory. And what's not going to ever fly is making mandatory fighters spending money out of their purses more than they've already giving into the sanctioning bodies. It's on the athletic. And a matter of fact, it's on them to make them spend the money. It's on them to make it mandatory. As long as the fighters have an option, why would if I'm a fighter and I'm clean, I don't care what you think about me, bro. I'm not spending $20,000 out of my pocket to make you feel better, bro. But if you're not doing it.
But if you're that fighter and you're in the WBO sanctions, you refuse to go to WBC, who has a clean boxing program, people are going to start suspecting you, especially if you don't even use VADA to test before fights. Or
they can suspect me, but can they stop me from fighting? Can they stop me from earning? Can they stop me from doing anything? Then I don't care about suspicion.
Of course not. But then that's what I'm saying. But then you got that label put on you. That's all I'm looking at it as.
The label.
Right? And then people criticize the person.
So you're telling me
I'm not telling you anything. I'm saying
no. I just want an example because you said the label if I don't jump into this pool, there's gonna be a label put on me. So every fighter in boxing right now, outside of Devin Haney, Canelo Alvarez, Nonito Donaire, and whatever handful of fighters that are in 365 are all being suspected of using performance enhancement drugs.
Yeah, everybody's suspected, even the people that are in testing. What do you mean? That's you're
saying even
that's not a specific question. I think what you're asking me, and I'm going to answer it is yes and no, right? Because it goes by people are blaming people for using supplements or illegal supplements or whatever you want to call it, performance enhancements, due to the fact of their weight. Due to the way that their growth is happening, due to the way that they're liked and received in the community, due to whoever they're I got my Dunkin' Donuts cup right here. Oh, I gotta hide that. Anyway, due to the fact that people are always looking to point the finger at the next person because of ties or because of reasonings that are insignificant. So when you get to these whole constitutional values of clean boxing, then you have to make sure that the protocols are met. I'm going to just put this out there and say it. There was a David Benavidez, quote unquote, wanted David Morrell tested because he didn't believe he was a clean boxer. They were going for the WBC. So that was what included in the program. He started questioning, started pushing, yo, why he test yet? Yo, like throwing stuff out there that was unnecessary. You made an example of that with David Benavidez. Now, at the same time, Tank was fighting Ryan, and he said he's on PEDs, right? Forced him into VADA. Listen, the guy that don't use VADA, forced him into VADA. They both used VADA. Ryan came back clean. Then you had the Devin situation. Devin never quoted or said he was on drugs or anything of that nature. And guess what happened? Nothing. There was no testing results. The guy came back later within that 8-week period or whatever, and he started cycling off according to everyone, and they found things in his system. Rather it was a false hitch or whatever the case may be. This is in the past. He's now guilty of it because he got charged with it. He's did a suspension. So he is a drug cheat. And because he got caught with that, right now we have people saying, "Oh well, now we can't use this because this was illegitimate." You know, he got hit with the left hook, but what was that left hook laced with? It was laced with Ostarine. Regardless of what you found in his system, it was more than the illegal amount allowed. So, when are we going to take a chance on saying, "Well, if we continue to listen to Tank when Tank said Ryan was on PEDs and we tested him throughout year round?" Guess what happens? Then we don't have this problem because he would have never got caught, right? He would have never had nothing in the system. But because he was able to come off it once he got tested with VADA with the Tank, spend that whole year doing nothing but juicing up, coming in there massive more than he's ever been, and then looking crazy He-Man in a ring with Devin and failing a drug test, it looks crazy when we have these situations that go on. Now, who got the blame of that? Not Ryan. Devin did. Oh, Devin's a drug cheat.
Where are we going? I just want to know where we're going, right?
We're going around. I'm painting a picture. My picture is being painted.
You're painting a picture for why 365 is needed, right?
No, I didn't say. I'm saying drug testing in general, like to an extent, needed. because if we say 365 is the only way.
Well, he was being drug tested, right? And he still got through it, right? So the conversation is about 365 testing. Right. I just don't want to go too crazy and 30-minute rants about something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. What I'm saying is this conversation that you're having right now, it sounds like I'm hearing a campaign for why testing is important. No? What is it?
Yeah, no. Let me get to the point.
Okay.
That's how I was painting the picture here. So with that being said, Clay, is that now we have availability of 365, and we had a situation where it needed to be implemented, where the one fighter said, "I'm not fighting anybody unless they're on 365 testing going forward because I could have lost my life in the ring." That was the whole point. Now, with that being said, now we have fighters either pushing back against it, or we have people saying that it costs too much. Yes, there is a cost. Figure out a way where we can get it implemented so everyone can get resources for this. Even extended testing, instead of it being 8 weeks throughout, make it half a year. All right, listen, half a year you're gonna be randomly tested. You know what I mean? Whether you're in competition or not, because these things right here, yes, they cost money, but at what cost? The managers or the promoters? You know what I mean? If this guy gets suspended, what's the guy that just got suspended for using drugs? If you get suspended, you're not making any money. You're not there to make anything. You're gonna live off of what? Now you're shelved. So you might as well spend the money to protect yourself. At the end of the day, if the promoters, sanction bodies, or
you're saying they should pay for it.
Somehow it's got to get paid for either way, or you got to work into your contract when you work it in your contract when you sign a promotional deal.
It's been a while. You've been going for a while, so I'm just trying to stay with you, right? I'm trying to stay with where you're going with this. So I just want to, because time goes, right? We're explaining and time goes. It doesn't stand still for us. So let's get where we're trying to get to, right? It sounds like the argument or the passion is the importance of drug testing and the consequences for people slipping through the cracks. That's what I'm hearing from you. If I'm not hearing that, then it's even more confusing because that means we're nowhere near what you're talking about, right? It sounds like there's a passion for the importance of drug testing. Yay or nay on that part?
Everything included. Yes. That's part of it. Yes. But
okay. So that part I understand. So we're going to take that part and put it here. What's the other part?
You must have missed the other part when you walked away.
I'm trying. So please,
we were talking about 365 and why it should be implemented for fighters regardless. Rather, they shouldn't have to come out of pocket. I agree with that. There should be some type of committee that is put together, or the sanctioning body should get together, because when certain sanctions are not forcing it, or not forcing the clean boxing program, like the WBO, which a lot of people thought David Morrell was cheating and he was never tested, and then WBC was testing and he went over to the WBC to fight for that interim. What did they do? They started testing him. That's my point. I'm thinking there's a lot of issues that we have to ultimately see boxing as a clean place. Bottom line, let me just clean it up. We need to see boxing get to a clean place at the end of the day.
That's what I figured the argument was, right? So not even an argument, right? I figured that's what you're trying to get to. So at the end of the day, yes, the conversation is a conversation that cannot go away and shouldn't go away. There should always be a push and an understanding for the space to be as clean as possible. 365, as far as a solution, is a legitimate solution if they can figure out how to get past the cost of it. And I think the sanctioning bodies and the athletic commissions are tasked with the responsibility of figuring that out. I don't put it on the fighters. The fighters are going to do whatever they need to do to be in compliance with what the sanctioning bodies and the athletic commissions put there as rules for them to be in compliance with. So it starts at the top, and then everybody has to fall into place. Making the fighters pay out their pockets is a little diabolical, I think, in my opinion, for something that's super expensive. You know what I mean? I mean, $20,000 to me is expensive, and I don't count people's pockets. But at the end of the day, even if I don't know if I made a lot of money, I don't know why I would. You know, I think if a fighter is willing to, if I'm willing to fight you without you being in 365 testing, I don't. You know what I'm trying to say? Because it goes both ways, right?
Yeah.
A fighter's willing to get in the ring with you, and you're not 365 tested. If you feel like you don't want to get in the ring with me because I'm 365 tested, and that's a cost that you need to figure out how to pay, and I'll do it. Outside of that, if you want me to be forced to do it, then, you know, go ahead and campaign to the sanctioning bodies or to the Turkey Al-Sheikhs of the world who are paying these purses and have them factor it in. As long as I'm in compliance, I'm confident in myself going into the ring. That's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? It is what it is when it comes to that topic as far as drug testing is concerned. As far as Devin Haney being called dirty, Terrence Crawford being called dirty, that's all like...
That's irrelevant. I get it.
It is. I mean, the bigger picture of the conversation is 365 testing concerned. That being said, let's continue to move the needle a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump into the Tank conversation. So Gervonta Tank Davis, obviously we know his legal issues that he's going through right now, but I think more importantly than his legal issues, we know that it was a tentative date of August 16th to where Tank and Lamont Roach are supposed to be having this rematch. This hasn't happened. I think most people are going to attribute it to the legal issues he's going through, but at the end of the day, rumors have been spinning around also about him entertaining retirement. Responses have come out from Kenny Ellis and team to say that that's fake news, but also rumors are circulating now that he may be considering some sort of a hiatus, right? Some sort of break, or that we might not be expecting him to compete until closer to, you know, mid to late, you know, mid 2026, right? Summertime. This is what rumors are circulating about. At the end of the day, though, where does the 135-pound division sit waiting on a WBA champion? I won't even say his name so people don't feel like we're focused on Gervonta Tank Davis. What I'm more so focused on is the title he holds and how that affects the division as far as the movement of the division. Fighters are getting older. They're gaining weight. They can't compete. You got Floyd Schofield Jr., in my opinion, who I think is a big 135-pounder. On any given Sunday, he could, you know, be having to move to 140, be forced up in there. Should he be given an opportunity to fight his mandatory, the spot that he's earned? He's worked through the sanctioning body rankings to be number one. Should he have to be forced to stay inside of a weight class for a year to get an opportunity at fighting for a title that he may not even get, as rumors are circulating about Manny Pacquiao being somebody that they're looking at fighting? How do you feel about how his inactivity may or is affecting the division that he's in, being that he's a title holder in that division?
If the rumors for the 1 year thing, I think you mentioned that, is true, that he needs to go into recess as a champion, because you're stepping away from the sport and you're holding up the division. Regardless of people saying that other fighters fight once a year, whatever the case may be, and they're champions, I get it. But they're active fighters, and they can take a fight at any time. They don't have to sit out that year. You know what I mean? They don't have to. They just do. I mean, there's no force on that, because if they were ordered to take a fight, they have to take the fight. This situation is you have a mandatory weight and presence, and they're talking about activating this mandatory. And if this guy or this fighter per se can't make the fight or anything like that, that's not fair. If he's holding up the division to the point of like you said, people outgrowing, and because he's dealing with certain things, also there should be in consideration of okay, well, we're going to keep you here, you know, like you said, in recess. We'll keep you here in recess. We're not going to strip you. We're going to put you here so nothing, you know what I mean, nothing could be said. So there's two factors of looking at the whole championship and recess situation. Why not? Because if Pacquiao should not be in the conversation, I get that's a money fight. And I know that, you know, with a company that you're with, they're having a little bit of hard time making fights. And they've seen the little bit of money that they made with the Barrios fight. And they figured with the two names linked together, it would be great. But nobody wants to see that fight. I don't want to see that fight. Nah, I think it's ridiculous. And now you're talking about a catch weight or a midweight of 140. It just doesn't iron all the wrinkles out of my clothes. So I don't like it, and I don't believe it.
Right. I think, listen, man, I think when you combine all the pieces,
nothing to do with legal issues. Stop with the legal shit. Everybody has legal shit going on outside of boxing, but it's cool. Go ahead, Clay.
Yeah, I think so we have legal issues to avoid a fight. What kind of, okay, that was deep. This is not about legal issues. Is a personal issue, right? Exactly. That has nothing to do. That's not a legitimate reason for anything, right? Like, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. You go to court and the court decides to throw you in jail for 2 months. Does your job have an obligation to keep your job?
Thank you.
No, they can let you go immediately at that point and say, you're not here to fulfill the space that we need an active body to be in. So sorry you got yourself in trouble, or that you're in a situation to where you're being held accountable. That's not our problem. Our problem is our business functioning at full capacity. If you can't fulfill the space, we're going to remove you out of there because you can't do your job, and we're going to put somebody else in the spot to do the job. The inconvenience of your personal legal woes does not fall on the shoulders of your employer to take into consideration as far as you keeping your job. No, it's not. Medical is different, right? Broken arms, broken legs, COVID, a reason that you medically can't, a job will be held accountable for letting you go because you're sick. But you having legal issues, domestic violence,
put yourself in
unpaid traffic tickets, unpaid child support, assault and battery charges, drug dealing charges, whatever it is your legal issue is that you're going through, that part of your personal life cannot, your employer has no obligation to deal with that bleeding into their business model. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to think about that. So that being said, like I said, in the spirit of business moving forward, in a division moving forward, in a ranking structure, in a sanctioning body, the WBA, who can't figure a way to make money off of your belt without you fighting and defending it, right? In the spirit of that happening, the question is, what is the more practical thing to do in a situation like what we're in right now, 135, with Tank Davis not being able to clearly defend his title, right? And I offered a champion in recess as a solution. Why? I took into consideration Tank Davis to say that I don't like the idea of him being stripped of his title or anything like that. I like titles being taken from fighters in the ring. I think most sanctioning bodies have put in the champion in recess option to circumvent that, right? They don't like the idea of a fighter just losing his belt like that. So, you'll see somebody like a Ray Vargas, a champion in recess. Devin Haney for a while, champion in recess. Terence Crawford, a champion in recess. All these champions who took time away from the sport for whatever reason still kept their champion statuses, but the sanctioning bodies found a way to keep the division moving forward, right? Yep. To keep everything moving and pushing in the same space. So I think it is going to come down to that, especially when you combine the idea that Tank is not talking about fighting his mandatories. He's talking about doing one of two things. Either A, I'm hearing the Manny Pacquiao conversation right now is a fight that he's considering. I doubt very much that Manny Pacquiao's coming down to 135 to fight 140. Tank. So that means he's leaving the division anyway to go compete when he does return, when he is available to fight, that he'll be considering to move up, right? So I think putting him as a champion in recess is a legitimate option because I think it allows the division to move forward. I think we should see Floyd Schofield and Lamont Roach, or I'm hearing rumors of what was a rumor that I heard? A fight. I think Lucas Body and who's he getting ready to fight against? I think Lucas Body and somebody else is also going to be picking up some sort of an interim title, or which I don't even understand because you got Floyd Schofield Jr. clearly there at the number one spot, you know what I'm saying, in the WBA rankings. But at the end of the day, in the spirit of the division moving forward, I think that's something that has to be entertained. Tank Davis, I think, really does need to, in my personal opinion, entertain taking some time to reflect. I think without a doubt, the disenchantment for the sport since about going on what a solid 6-7 months now at this point. At the end of the day, he's being pulled back and forth, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever it is, being that he doesn't communicate to the media space openly. He's not totally transparent about what he's going through. But I just think if we just factor in what we do know, as far as him saying that he's thinking about retiring after the year, as far as his comments on the boxing space, as far as boxing being BS and him not wanting to be involved in it. Now adding on there the charges he's dealing with right now, even the way he came into his camp when you watched him on the promotional tour for the Lamont Roach fight, the first fight, when you watch him separating from Calvin for that little bit of time, working with Barry Hunter, and just all these little different factors that you putting in there, it does look like Tank Davis is dealing with things, and I think he should take some time to deal with those things and make up his mind on how he plans on dealing with the sport. I spoke about it earlier before, days before. We don't play boxing, right? And the halfway out and halfway in is a dangerous space to be in when you're in combat sports, right?
Listen, that's good if he fights in October. But listen, shout out to Buzz for the interesting take on what you said. So that includes his hands hurt.
Right. No doubt. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing he with Kevin Cunningham in Florida. Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. It's just so much. Yeah, I mean, I hear you 2 cents just waiting for an announcement. That is definitely one way.
Since May.
Right. I mean, exactly. And, he hasn't fought a mandatory since Rolly Romero. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they should move now. I'm not saying that they should move without him. I think based on his ability and his willingness to fight is going to play a major role in this. But at the end of the day, on the back end of a decision being made that has Tank Davis not popping back up in the ring until mid October 2026, and then on top of that, if you combine it that he's not going to fight in the division, then what do we do? Because he holds a title. If he was just a fighter, he could do whatever he wants to do, but that title should come with responsibility. You know what I mean? Wielding that title should come with responsibility to defend that title, to give the fighters who are fighting towards that title an even and fair opportunity at becoming champion as well. They work their way to get to that point. We know that the championship is not just about legacy for a lot of these fighters. It's an upgrade in pay. It's an upgrade in status. It's leverage that they can use in other opportunities if they want to move into other weight classes. Holding up a whole entire division just to allow a fighter to just operate in his privilege doesn't benefit boxing.
He was right about the controversy today. This chat is blowing up, and I love it.
No doubt. Yo, we got 68 people in the building. Take an opportunity to hit that like button if you haven't done it. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that as well. I appreciate you and thank you in advance. So that's my stand on the Tank Davis conversation. I don't know if you want to add anything to it as far as that.
Listen, man, I mean, you said everything you needed to say. I mean, I don't want people to get the wrong idea that thinking that we're trying to stop them from moving forward. You know what I mean? I want the success, and whatever the case may be, legal issues, whatever, outside of boxing, we wish them the best. You know what I mean? It's just, but we got to also remember, responsibility comes outside the sport as well. If you're going to sit there and keep putting yourself in position, regardless if it's active, false, or whatever the case may be, you have to acknowledge that you put yourself in that position. You're responsible for your well-being, not to be in those positions. regardless if it's false or true, because I don't know, I wasn't there, but I don't go doing stuff outside of here, like Clay said, that's going to risk my job. I got to feed my kids. I got to pay for my house. You know what I mean? I got to make ways for me to enjoy life. I'm not going to sit there and ruin it because somebody talking shit in the street and just decide I'm going to smoke them or do something stupid. Are you crazy? You know what? You got that word. I'm going to walk away this time, but if you pursue me, things going to change. That's it. You got to look at it in the right sense of mind. Right. So if that is the case, you feel the way you feel. It is what it is, Clay. But I just think
if he's gonna move away at this point, if he's gonna move away more than he's already separated himself, and I think that has to be taken into consideration. The fact that he's made statements like you saw how the IBF handled Terence Crawford, right? As soon as Terence Crawford started speaking about fighting at 154 and not coming back to 147, and they started to see that their belt wasn't going to get defended, boom, they stripped him. I don't think that should happen, but I do think it should be taken into consideration that there's a good chance between the rumors of Jake Paul, between the rumors of Manny Pacquiao, between the rumors of moving up to 140, between the legal issues he has, between this fight not being able to be made between him and Lamont Roach, I was supposed to be for August 16th. It's safe to say that the indecisive space he's in right now, because keep in mind, guys, this fight with Lamont Roach was never signed by Tank Davis. The contract was never signed, right? He agreed verbally, and I think we all understood and had a consensus in the space that this fight was going to happen, but Tank never actually signed the contract and gave the PBC what they needed to be able to officially announce this fight and the card. Right? Keep in mind, we knew who was going to be on the undercard, so we knew how real it was that this card was going to get put together. But does anybody ask a legitimate question as to what the real reason was behind why they didn't announce the fight? I argue that they didn't announce the fight because the contract was never officially signed. Lamont Roach communicated to the space that he'd been signed for the fight to happen, but also communicated that Tank's side had not signed for the fight. What was the reason behind it? I don't know, but I can tell you that it held up a lot of business for the PBC and a lot of business for the other fighters who counted on that card being announced. Now, we can use hindsight and say on June 15th, this domestic charge happened, this incident happened, but he wasn't arrested, right? He should have signed for that fight months in advance. You were looking to the final moment where they were talking about announcing this fight on July 19th for a fight that was going to happen on August 16th. Right. So it was already weird. It's already a lack of motivation, at least at a minimum, behind Tank Davis's team to get involved in any fights. And the question I think is fair to ask if the WBA sanctioning body should take all these factors into consideration on how they want to move with their belt in the lightweight division. Right now, with a division that's actually bubbling, we have Abdullah Mason getting ready to potentially. I think the favorite, we're giving him probably the head nod as far as the direction we think that fight's going to go in with him and Sam Noakes. We got a new champion getting ready to be there in Abdullah Mason, an exciting champion, an up-and-coming star in Abdullah Mason. You got a Shakur Stevenson who looks healthier than he's looked in years with his last two performances specifically the last performance against William Zepeda. You've got a Raymond Mortala, a new crowned IBF champion who's yet to defend that title. You've got an up-and-coming Andy Cruz. You've got a Floyd Schofield Jr. coming off of the performance of his career, right? And potentially knockout of the year competitor. Well, no, not really, because we got to give that to Brian Norman, bro, and what he just did to Sasaki. But that being said, a great performance by Floyd Schofield. You got a lot of things happening at 135 right now. And you got a new addition to 135 in Lamont Roach, who really, a lot of people felt like beat Tank Davis, right? But it is what it is on paper, but people are excited to see him fight as well. So how does the WBA feel about their belt not being involved in the conversations of a division that's popping off and bubbling? Does that make sense? Right? How does the WBA feel about that? It's going to be interesting to watch how they play.
That is the question. Like I said, it comes down to that, right?
100%, man. Mm-hmm. All right. I see somebody talking about the Xander Zayas. That's not true. The contract was signed.
I thought Amanda dropped her belt. No, she didn't.
The contract was signed by both, so why wasn't it announced? And didn't Lamont say he didn't sign it? Hold on.
Lamont said he signed it. Tank didn't sign it. That's what Lamont
he said. So
he was waiting for Tank.
I mean, I don't know. That's why I heard.
Listen, I'm all in favor of it happening. I'm not saying like I got to take 2 cents word for it too. Like she said, it's going to happen in October. Maybe she heard something. I don't know.
She said,
I'm also seeing different reports. Like, you know, I got to be. I almost have to say this. I have to be naive to everything that I'm hearing right now. And there's Hood Rich. Salute, right on time. I have to be naive. And when I say that is, I'm taking everyone's word for it because I don't know. I'm in the dark. Like, you guys apparently have some shine of light on it. And I'll rather you tell me the information and lead me to the light that you're at and be factual with it instead of just being, okay, well, this is going to happen, which I heard for months. And it hasn't happened yet. And then we're hearing the same thing go back and forth, and it's a revolving door of bullshit. I'm just going to keep it real. So I'll stay in the dark and let y'all be naive. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Rich, what's good, man? Salute. Rich laughing. You know what I mean? I know that means that something's going on in the background that we're not aware of. But look,
that's why I'm laughing. That's why I said, hey.
At the end of the day, the name of the show is At This Point, Combat Media. It's ATP, and it's based off of the information we have access to. You know what I mean? Exactly. Speculation is spinning around about what he plans on doing, how he plans on handling it. I don't know if anybody's even heard about what's happened with that parole hearing that he supposedly had a few days ago. I don't know how that went. Look, at the end of the day, yeah, they in the dark too. You know what I'm saying? We all in the dark, right? So it is what it is. If he can and he plans on fighting in October, then so be it. We're looking forward to seeing him in October against Lamont Roach. Let that be what it is. But at the end of the day, probably 2 cents. It won't be the first time I've agreed with you, but it won't be the first time I disagree with you too. So I don't know what it is that, you know what I mean?
Sometimes that's messed up. I support you every day. You know that.
I wasn't
going at her. I wasn't going at the queen. I was just trying to.
Somebody laughing at her or something. I don't know. She feels. I don't know. That's why I saw her. I'll be late. I don't be all in the chat, so I'll be missing things. Things will be happening, and I'll get in all late. Let me see here. The Cardanian said Tank said at the press conference, Roach rematch wasn't going to be the next. Why are people acting so illiterate, like they don't know what rematch with Roach isn't next means?
Okay. Anyway.
Okay. No, I like that. I hear you. Like basically saying that there was no intention to fight Roach in the first place. Why are we shocked that it's not happening now? I hear you.
But he also doubled back and said that he was going to do it on Twitter. So I mean, it is what it is. Like I said,
what he's saying is the intention was put there early.
Why
are you so shocked that it didn't happen now? Like if he could find a way out of it. Clearly, it's kind of like the kid
I got it.
Something. But he finally agrees to do it. But it's like, why didn't you believe him the first time when he said he didn't want to do it?
Got you. No, that's what I said. I got you.
And he's choosing not to do it. It's like, well, he didn't want to do it in the first place. Let's be honest.
Right.
You know?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I understood it. I just want to ask 2 cents to really give a shout out to freaking Flyer when won in the Royal Rumble over on her channel yesterday. Listen, he was tossing them bodies out the ring. 2 cents. I think you do owe him that for a good job, but. Shout out to 2 Cents Boxing. If y'all don't know who she is, you know now. Go follow her. Give her a follow. She brings us some great content. She's very open mic like. So, I mean, head over there if you can. That's all. But move forward. Go ahead, Clay.
That being said, I've seen people talking about the Terence'S Ennis situation. I'm gonna open the panel up because we've talked about a lot. I'm sorry. One more thing, and I'm opening the panel up. What time is it? Okay, because I got a movie to catch. I want to talk about the heavyweight division a little bit. I want to tap into it. The heavyweight division is it's been moving well, and you know, as the heavyweight division moves, the saying goes, so does boxing, and it's moving well. We've seen Alexander Usyk recently get a mandatory put on him with Joseph Parker. We know he's going to be standing out of the space until he's ready to get back in. He has nothing to prove. It's all about money for him. We don't know who he's fighting when he gets back. Joseph Parker has been ordered to fight him next for that WBO title. I think there's I'm 70% on the side of Alexander Usyk allows that belt to just be stripped from him, or he even vacates it like he did with the IBF belt for Daniel Dubois. And more than likely, what we're probably going to see is Joseph Parker be elevated to a full champion. That being said, who is he going to fight next? We're going into August 16th coming up. We got two, I think, significant heavyweight fights in the division. One against Moses Atuma between him and Dillian White. It's going to be Moses Atuma's first top, 15 fighter. I don't know if Dylan is in the top 10, but a top 15 fighter in Dillian White. And we're also going to see David Adelaide get his opportunity to fight a top 10 fighter in Philip Ergovich. Both those fights, I think, are significant to the actual division, which, in my opinion, is pretty much wide open for a new, getting ready to be, if not already, wide open for a new generation of heavyweight fighters to step in there and take control of the space. We've got Ajit Kabayel sitting there with an interim WBC title as well. We've got Martin Bakole looking to, rebrand, resurge his career. He was on a nice momentum when he beat Jared Anderson, but we've seen him look kind of, we've seen him kind of fall off a little bit, but I expect him, I still consider him a live dog in the conversation. Obviously we got Daniel Dubois, even though coming off of a loss, we know what kind of fighter he can be. I think he's been inconsistent with his confidence a little bit, or his mental strength, the mental, that strong mental will that you need to compete at that level. But keeping it on the Moses Atuma and Dillian White fight, that being a significant fight, how do we feel about the heavyweight division right now? We were leaving an era that was really one of the worst eras in heavyweight boxing in a long time, right? Like that era with the Povetkins and the Anthony Joshua and I don't know. Even with Deontay Wilder, it was just dry, right? Deontay Wilder was, matter of fact, like the light in the heavyweight division for the longest time, and wasn't the highest skilled boxer in the space, but had that right hand. How do you feel about the present space of the heavyweight boxing space right now?
I think heavyweight boxing has actually grown. I think it's coming back to the forefront. I think the boxers, I think after the Lennox Lewis really era, kind of like the beginning of the Klitschko's, I think heavyweight boxing has took like a backseat to the lighter divisions a little bit. And I think it's actually starting to grow, because I think people weren't really feeling the European vibe. I'm not going to lie to you, I wasn't in boxing. So I think a lot of that, having an American fighter there or whatever, to rule the nest, till Deontay Wilder came out of nowhere and he started making noise, and we started seeing Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury in the background, coming out of beating the Klitschko's and making a name for themselves. We started seeing that, and I think that right there put a lot of change in boxing. It brought up a new era of, okay, we got 3 or 4 good fighters here, let's get it going. They never met. I think you had Tyson Fury come out of retirement after he decided to throw in his bag, and then he came out to fight Wilder because everybody wanted to see that fight. We wanted to see the Joshua fight. That fight never happened. So it kind of was like on a stalemate of heavyweight boxing once Deontay Wilder lost. We kind of seen it like just staying flat. I think with recent times in Turkey bringing out all these boxers that we didn't know globally, and I'll be honest with you, we heard of them, but we didn't know of them. We knew like Jared Anderson, but we still weren't watching heavyweight boxing. Once they started putting on that fight in December, that big card in December, like right after Christmas, the something day, whatever it was. But anyway, they put that fight on with all the heavyweights, and everybody was in their seats like, yo, let's see what this is about. Okay, heavyweight boxing looks like it might make its way back. As it did, we got another card, which we seen a lot of heavyweights in our first situation where we seen Nick Ball, a non-heavyweight on the card. Going forward, we're starting to see all these guys now making names for themselves, and we're recognizing who they are. It doesn't matter if it's our favorite fighter or not. We're starting to recognize the heavyweight division for what it is. We're starting to see guys that are out there beating the Wilders, beating the AJs, beating the the Dubois and things of that nature. Usyk coming up and dominating the division as so. So yes, heavyweight boxing is back. As far as these young guys, oh man, they about to change the game. So be wary, because you're about to be grab your seats and hold on, or grab. Because it's about to be a ride in the heavyweight division, and I can't wait for it. As far as that fight though with your boy Parker, don't be surprised if he does get the belt and AJ throws his name in the hat and gets that fight, or Dubois. But that's neither here or there.
I think we do have AJ who's looking for a way back into the conversation as well.
So don't be surprised if that happens. But go ahead, my bad. What's up, Nook? Oh, he didn't.
No, what's good? What's good, dog?
Put us on the blackout. We in the dark again.
He'll be back. I'll have him in the back. When he pops up, I'll bring him back up. But yeah, I like this fight for Moses Atuma and Dillian White. This is a big deal for him, especially right now with Alexander Usyk kind of stepping out the way. With the reality, I think is Moses Atuma isn't he ranked like number 1 right now in the WBO?
Yeah.
Right. So in all reality, after this fight with Dillian White, especially with the right performance, he gets first dibs at a Joseph Parker, or Joseph Parker, like we talked about a couple of days ago, is in a compromised position because he's going to end up either in the crosshairs of Moses Atuma or Ajit Kabayel, 2 young fighters who are shaking up space right now. Doesn't look good for Joseph Parker on the back end of it. But this starts off with this fight with Dillian White. I put eyes on Dillian White the other day. They were talking about him. Boy, is slim, motivated. He understands what's on the back end of this fight. This is probably his last chance at a big payday. That fight right there is going to be an interesting fight. And David Adelaide with Philip Ergovich is also going to either put David Adelaide right there in that top 10 conversation, or is just going to be like back to the drawing board for him and have Philip Ergovich take back his spot where he was at. You know what I'm saying? Hold on a second. We got so many things going on here. Hold on a second. Wait, hold on. What's going on? Is he what? What is going on here? What's up? Anton? Assalamu alaikum, King. How you feeling, man?
Alaikum salam, Akman.
How you feeling, family?
What's up, Ray? How you?
What up?
No doubt.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into all the discussions and everything, I just wanted to say it's a sad day, man, to see that people are still literally stooping down and going personal insults over boxing. I would never understand that, man. Like, not y'all. I'm just reading. I was reading certain things, and I'm just like, what? Like, come on, man. We still doing it. So I'm taking a page out of what you said. I wasn't here yesterday. The day before that, Tuesday. So I'm not a fan of no boxing no more, man. I'm done. I'm just going to support boxing. I'm going to support good fights. I'm done. I can't take it. I just want to see good boxing.
Yeah. No, it does get complicated. What's up, Dub? What's good with you, family?
What's up, man? Y'all kicked me off and
No.
Yes, he did. When he put him on, the junk kicked me off.
No, I kept going to the start.
Okay, the junk kicked you off. Okay, not me.
The stream yard kicked me off once you added him.
StreamYard's been going through it. I'm gonna let you know right now. For the past month and some change, StreamYard been acting way weird. I promise you, he's been. As a creator in this space using this platform, it's not been the same as it was last year. I can tell you that right now.
You know what it is? They want you to pay for it. They want you to pay for it. Like, so if you're doing the free, if you get the free,
I pay the top thing they offer. I pay for it.
Oh, normally if you pay for it, it be going through. But like if you still doing the free trial, they've been messing and joining up. Like,
no, it's the updates they did. Like all the icons change and stuff like that. It's all the programming. It's just
my man. Look at Claymore Rain's background, bro. You think he on that free duck shit on the screen and shit,
I'm paying the money.
Look, before let me start before HLD start lunching on here and start tripping and stuff. But he get the tripping, ain't nobody gonna get nothing off.
Hey, man, you can't cut it off.
Yeah, so look, first off, right, the worst, y'all be forgetting, like, the worst time in heavyweight history was about, I'm gonna say 2010, when the Chris Claus was running the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division sucked. Like, it was so weak. Like, you had like what's dude David White, what's like that? What's his name? Not David Tool. The dude had the braids. David Hay.
You talking about light skin from England?
Yeah. All you had was him and the Chris Claus brother. Like, the heavyweight division sucked then. Like, the heavyweight division, it ain't as when we came up, like, you know what I'm saying, how the heavyweight division was stacked. But it's better than back then at that time. When Chris Crawford was the champion, you couldn't even find nobody to really give him a challenge. Like, it sucked all until, but like, I'm gonna say probably about 2015, 16, maybe. It started getting a little bit better, but it sucked for like about 5 years.
How you feel about it right now?
Like now, I think it's way better than it was at that time. Because you got some names, you got some dudes that can compete for the belt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, well, listen. Let me take that back. You got some people that can compete against. You got some dudes that can compete with each other. Alexander Usyk is a whole nother level. The intern belts, they can fight for the intern belts. Can't none of them beat Usyk right now. So we already know until Usyk retire, it's not gonna be really competitive far as for the belts. But it's gonna be competitive far as the number 2s and 3s and 4s. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
like not including Usyk, looking at
Yeah, not
Moses,
including
looking at
Usyk.
Ajit, looking at Philip Ergovich, looking at like those fighters. You know what I mean? Joseph Parker, Danny
Yeah.
Duval, like those guys.
Then they got another dude. They got a dude. Like they just did a story on him, right? I don't know his name. He from another country. He from Russia. He like 6'8", right?
I've seen him. I know
Like
he's on.
he 14-0 or 13-0, like all knockouts. This dude be but he's not skillful though, right? He remind you of a Deontay Wilder a little bit, like, but he got a knockout punch, but he ain't really no skillful dude though. He's like a big tall. He a tall bum, but he be knocking everything out though. He got a punch on him, like he knocking everything out within the first 5 rounds.
So
He's
I
like,
would ask, right? Because I hear people talking about how the division sucks. That a cruiserweight is running it, right? But for me, a division is interesting if the fights are competitive. I don't grade each fighter on their pedigree and what they bring to the table as far as how good they necessarily are. It's the heavyweight division. But I think we got some punchers. We got stylistically interesting fights in the heavyweight division. I think you put Ajit Caballel in there with any of these fighters, it can be very interesting. I think Moses Atuma brings interesting fights. I think David Adelaide, Fabio Wardley. I think these fighters are explosive and exciting enough and in the same realm as far as pedigree to when they get in the ring, us as boxing fans get entertaining fights where we see dudes get knocked out, fights where, it was an era when there was like a bunch of fat dudes laying on each other, not really letting their hands go, not being able to look good for more than 3 to 5 rounds. We have fighters now who can deliver us some good fights in between them.
Let me do my rounds real quick
I think heavyweight is definitely better than cruiserweight by far to me.
Let me touch some other stuff too, because when I be coming on here, I might get like one little sentence off, and then I be hit. I don't know, y'all be good. But look, the other thing, right, about the Victor Conte, I just want to touch, everything he was talking about. So Victor Conte, right? I was just arguing and debating on a platform. I ain't gonna say what platform, but like damn near, see, it's always about. And that's the one thing I do like about your show though, Playboy. And I know like you don't get like as many like, what I'm saying, views in the chat like a lot of these big platforms because you started way after them. But I like the fact that you don't be having no picks. Like you would talk about anybody. Like if you feel like Ray the same way, you know what I'm saying? Ray kind of he kind of started to think he what they call them?
Maniac or something?
I'm starting to think he a Haniac, right? I'm starting to think he's some Kenneth Devlin in them for a little bit, but he do this. He do it for the most part, right? He do it for the most part. He don't be having no picks for the two. But I like the Victor Conte. I was saying yesterday that like, what is the point of having him in boxing? Like, we don't need him in boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying is why even have that over your head where though people would think you cheating. People would think you cheating because you keep you know what I'm saying, you dealing with the dude. Why even have that over your head? Like I don't understand that. Why even have that over your head? Where you know what I'm saying? If you're a clean fighter and why you don't need snack. It's other supplements. You don't need it.
Right.
But I would say this though, right? If snack, for argument's sake, if snack is really the best product on the shelf right now, if it is, right? I'm not saying it is, but let's just argue and say if it happens to be the best product on the table, right? Like even a lot of fighters like Sean Porter talk about like, yo, I don't use all his supplements, but certain things he has are just second to none in comparison to their competitors, right? If that is the case, and if ultimately my fate lies in the results of my testing, and if my testing has shown as I'm using snacks, my testing has been coming through clean. Why shouldn't I use a product that benefits me the best, that gives me what I want and what I need out the product? It's not popping on any test. It's being properly tested and vetted through. Why should I care?
All right, let me say this now.
I think
All
you
right,
can go
so
back to what Coach Eddie said.
Why? Listen, if you say why should you care? Let me say this, right? All right, and this don't try to say this ain't on the same level because it definitely is, right? So don't try to answer this question, right? You have a friend, and he, he might got a I'm probably gonna say that issue. You're gonna say he got convicted of statutory rape. He got convicted of statutory rape, right?
That's crazy, by
God
the way. That's
damn,
a
that's
crazy
crazy.
extreme.
Listen.
Choose a different topic.
I don't
Because
think he
I
know.
think that's different from anything else.
Say, man.
I listen, because I'm saying I'm about to get to something. I'm about to get to something because it's just like he was convicted.
I'm cutting that dude off. I'm just being honest with you. That dude,
And
give me another crime because I just think that's an extreme.
let's say carjacking.
We don't want to
Stay with it, but I'm cutting that dude off.
demonetized.
Yeah,
We don't want to get demonetized.
Right.
Y'all with all whatever.
Let's say he's a carjacker, right? He's a carjacker.
Let's say something else.
Okay, I
you don't want to. You got a nice
use
lot
the
of
word.
whips.
y'all went off on that one, yes.
I'm being real with you, bro.
They use the word great. They don't even say that word no more.
Let's say
They use the word
murderer. I'd
great.
rather you say murderer. Let's say you got a friend who's a murderer. Let's go with that one.
But yeah,
All right, you got right. You got
all right, he a carjacker, and Clay got a lot of clean whips in the garage.
All right, look. Now he a thief, right?
No, he needs to hold your car, Clay.
He be stealing. He be stealing like I don't know what, right? He be stealing. Right. Would you leave once he came home? He come home, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He said he changed his life, whatever. He ain't no thief no more, right? Would you steal it? So he just, you know what I'm saying? He come home. Would you trust him in your house by himself? Would you leave him in your house by himself and you got a lot of valuables in him? You got valuables in and everything. Would you leave him in your house by yourself?
No, I wouldn't. But can I ask you? Can I use that same example to ask you a question?
Look, why even? Okay, the last thing though. Why even put yourself in a situation where as though you got to question if he might steal or not?
All right, but now what if you have a business? Now, what if you have a business, a security system business that you're popping off, right? And you want to make the best security system that's out there. You want to compete. Do you involve somebody who's an expert security system breaker to bring on to your team to help design the security system that you're trying to compete with in a space where there's a lot of other security systems? Who better than the guy you know personally that robs all the cribs the best in the most
but see, you all right, so we making two different points. Look, I'm gonna tell you why. Hold up, I'm gonna tell you why we making two different points. You making a point on a tip of Vada, on a tip of him dealing with Vada and him giving them information on how to do better testing. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm speaking on that, but I'm also speaking on. I'm also speaking on the fighter who wants to use supplements, right?
But see, I'm speaking on. Yeah, but see, they don't have what you just asked me is more on like, well, should you still use Vada, knowing that he had some type of dealing with him or whatever, and he was telling them how to do better tests. That's basically what you're trying to hit at. I'm not hitting on that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do Vada. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying on that standpoint about the Vada testing. I'm saying on the standpoint of a fighter dealing with the supplements and representing his brand. Why I would never put myself in a situation knowing that he got caught busted cheating. Why do I need his brand? Why do I gotta represent his brand, or why do I gotta use his supplements? I'm not saying they shouldn't use Vada. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got a great point.
I'm saying that as a fighter,
right?
Why do I want to deal with somebody that has that over their head? That's why I bought the thief stuff, because why do I want to question? Why do I want to put this thief in my house and question? Damn, if he might steal, he ain't steal. He changed his life. Like why I question that?
So your point is, and I
It's
get what
about
you're saying.
reputation.
When
He's talking
everybody
about
was
just
hold on.
reputation.
When he
Yeah,
had all,
reputation. Why deal with him if you're a
when
fighter?
he had this, when he was giving out ZMA back in the day with Barry Bonds and all these guys, all those guys failed. Jones and Timothy, whatever his name, Montgomery, they all failed tests. Or they didn't fail tests, but he ended up giving them up. But I get what you're saying, right? So let's take that a little further, as we should say. So being that he did that, but yet his products are separate from what the Balco industry was doing. The Balco industry itself was genetically modifying chemicals to cheat. The Zima and the snack was already a product that was on the shelves that were used for recovery. So with the whole Balco scandal, I do understand what you're saying. I think that's a good point, Clay. He does have a good point because
he definitely does. Yeah, he definitely
And
does.
then if you talk to the fighters though,
Can I,
if you talk to the
can I-
fighters,
but
the fighters feel like it too though. It ain't just us, the fighters.
Let me land a
No,
plane.
you're
The people who actually fighting feel like snacks shouldn't be in boxing.
right.
That's all I'm
Right.
saying. And you know, I deal with the fighters every day. You know that,
my
Clay.
man said I was
All
gonna
of them
take
feel
over
like
the
it's
panel.
fishy. All of them feel like that snack stuff is fishy.
Right.
You got listen. You got fighters making jokes out here, right? You got some of the top fighters that y'all know. I ain't gonna say who. They making jokes like shit. If I fight, I ain't gonna say who they said they fight, but they said shit. If I fight so and so, I'm gonna go grab some snack.
Hell yeah.
Like they making jokes about that
I'm
shit.
about to
Like,
listen. I'm about to be on snack. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right.
I'm gonna throw it to you, and I'm on it.
Clay and Ray, I want to say one
Go ahead.
sentence and then
Mhm.
Ray, you can land your plane. The thing that I have with the Victor Conte situation, like I said the other day, if the fighter is on snack and they didn't pop, they didn't pop. I do agree with Dub about the association with him, but the thing I want to point on is we never talk about after Victor changed his life. There are fighters that was with him after he came home that still pop dirty.
oh,
You mean
And that's
after
and
Victor
that's and
Conte became a born again Christian type of
yes,
shit? Cause that nigga
and
never
that's
was
and
on
that's
that.
and
Nigga,
that's
I ain't know about that.
Hold on.
yes,
That motherfucker
that's
never was on
Andre.
that.
That's y'all can look it up. That's Andre Berto, and I believe it was Willie Monroe Jr. and Luis Ortiz. Y'all can look it up.
Wait.
check it out.
Go. Let me just ask. I just want clarification. So what happened? Say it one more time. What
Yes.
happened?
After Victor Conte supposedly changed his life and came home, there are fighters that was working with him that pop dirty
Yeah.
Okay, I
for
believe
the
that.
same
Yeah.
for Nandrolone and for Ostarine.
Right.
Okay.
But
And Andre Berto was one of them,
Right.
and two other
I
fighters, I
mean, yeah,
believe.
but
But
are you
but
saying
let's
that like that's because of him?
You mentioned
No,
Luis
I'm
Ortiz,
just,
but he
no,
popped.
I'm
Hold on,
just
you
saying.
mentioned Luis
No,
Ortiz, but he popped for
that-
high blood pressure pills. That was high
right.
blood pressure.
And what I want to also point out
Okay,
is
I might be wrong about him.
right.
Okay.
What I want to point out is that he was with them for snack. What they popped on was not what they were PEDs. They weren't involved with the snack situation. He was just doing the same thing. He was just sponsoring snack. Same thing he did with Baco. Now, if these guys asked for stuff because they knew who he was and he was stupid enough to go ahead and deliver it and things of that nature, and they accused him of, I think Shane Mosley was on the record of saying, you know what I mean, he helped him some way along the lines back in the day. Yeah, you know what? You're right to that point. But at the same time, they haven't pulled his card yet, right? So, I mean, I can see where everybody's point is. Yeah, it should be a point that you don't go beyond. But I'm done on the other conversations. I already landed. I'm done. Y'all can speak on it.
I'm just gonna say this.
Wait.
Hell no.
Wait. Let me just deal with this super chat. Lance Shepard with the $5. I appreciate the love, man. Says can't be framed if you ain't in the picture. I understand what he's saying. Keep punching. All right, go ahead. I'm gonna let HLD tap in on this one.
I will hell no trust the Pink Panther to fucking protect my home and security. All right? All right? Hell no. All right, I'm not gonna trust.
No. Wait. If you're answering, if you're responding to what I said, HL, what I asked is if you are making a security system that you're going to sell on the market, right? If you're trying to be part of creating a product, right, built around stopping people from burglarizing other people's homes, and you know somebody who is one of the best people you know who knows how to break into homes, would you seek out their advice on certain protocols that you have in the security system to make your security system competitive in the market amongst other security systems? And why wouldn't you if you wouldn't?
I wouldn't trust the motherfuckers gonna know how to break the code to make it happen.
Yeah.
That's
I
why.
would.
You know how to get around it.
I'm not gonna trust him now. When it comes
I'm
to
talking about selling it. I'm not talking about protecting your home.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about building a product and sell to other people.
Hey, Pink Panther Security. It's just the name on my house because he's just protecting it and shit. But that's the motherfucker who knows how to get in it. No, thank you.
But if you pay him enough to stop being cheap, HLD, he won't rob your ass.
No, man.
Yo, that's real. HL cheap as hell. You gonna make
Hey, who said that?
But if I got millions of dollars, I ain't paying that full million that I protect my millions.
I think he said if your cheap ass will pay him, he wouldn't be trying to rob your ass.
Now the one thing,
HLD want his help and then don't want to pay him shit.
No, I don't want his help. I don't want his help.
He doing the Uncle Donnie, huh? He trying to get his building.
Yeah, doing that. Yeah. Then wonder why you get robbed. You got robbed because you was being cheap, buddy.
I don't want his help. Don't put where I don't want his help. I just said that clear as day. You wanted me to suck down that day, be you. No,
HLD want somebody outside the country. You want to holler at an illegal immigrant who ain't got no choices.
You damn right.
$10 an hour.
I want Pepito.
Buy American, dog, and pay us right. Buy American.
But anyway, coming back to what's really, I keep on hearing it's not about the snack product, guys. The snack product is legit. It's legit products. There's nothing wrong with the snack product in itself. It's nothing has nothing to do with that. So it's not that. It's the snack program. It's what happens behind the scenes when you hired Victor Conte to be your scientist in his lab. When you start giving him your blood work and he's going to start mixing up the stuff that you need, that he knows how to pass the VADA test. On top of him knowing who to call, when they're going to send somebody to be tested, when not to be tested, and know when they can do that to your opponent. It's the dirty shit behind the scenes that we're not going to see. That's the problem. And that's where the mad scientist gets to work. It's not about the snack product, bro. There's nothing wrong with it. You guys can take it. I think it's a shit product. There's better supplements on the market than snack. But there's nothing wrong about the legality of their uses. I have no issues with that. It's about Victor Conte and what he does behind the scenes. And we want to act like this mofo is some type of, born-again Christian that fucking just now is holier than hold. Hell the fuck no.
He got baptized, bro.
No, hell no. He ain't no born
Coach
again.
Eddie said.
He ain't no born again.
Recommends us not to use no supplements.
And so
I think that's what it should be.
No, it has nothing to do with the again, I'm going to repeat. There's nothing wrong with the snack supplements. It's the involvement of Victor Conte. Once you are part of the snack program, it goes beyond what you see here. They have their lab. They have their testing facility. They're going to take your blood. They're going to know what they can take, what they cannot take, and when to take it, because Victor knows when Mark is going to send out for the testing. So they know when and where. That's the issues behind the scene. That's what I have a problem with snack being involved with. Now, if it was all said and done, that's why we need another company. Simple as that. A whole new.
Can I ask a question,
Clay? Hold on, real quick. Let me just respond to that really fast. HLD, didn't we have the same problem in the Olympics when he worked with USADA? Didn't he have access to all the testing with Tim Montgomery and Marion Jones? So he was able to get around those tests?
No, it wasn't the same way.
But that's not my point. Did he not have access to the?
I just said it wasn't the same way.
He had access because he got around the testing. He knew when they were testing. He said it in his video that he knew when they were testing them.
It's a little bit different for when you're having a set competition. With that know when you're gonna start testing and that's because everybody knows.
Isn't boxing competition?
No, because everybody knows when. Like for an example, in the NBA, I think it was October 1st, you're gonna get tested. But on October 2nd, back in the day, you're not getting tested, right? So he knew when and where for the openness of when it was gonna be testing. But for boxing with VADA, you're not. Nobody's supposed to know when you're gonna get tested. It's random.
Supposed to be random.
Random and pop over you, but guess why it's not random? Because Victor Conte knows when, or he's the one who's gonna send out. Hey, send them out now. Send
Okay,
them out now.
that's my point. That's my
All right.
point. So, all right, I'm good. Go ahead.
All right. So
Can I ask a question?
yeah, I'm about to say,
I'm gonna
Shelton,
ask
go
this
ahead.
one
Let's
question.
get on to some. Let's get on
I'm
to
asking
some
this
real.
one question.
Exactly.
Don't you
After
think?
this.
Don't we sit up here? We talk about this shit till we blue in the face, right?
Right,
Don't you think the powers that be in boxing know what's going on?
Yeah.
Of course.
Exactly.
Why do you think they let him in boxing in the first place?
I'm about to say something about that too. I
NFL
think
said
because
no.
he got
Hold
some,
on.
he got
Let me
some
finish. I didn't cut you off. Let me finish. MLB said no. NBA said no. NFL said no. Hockey said no. Boxing said, come on. Why do you think that is?
Because he called it the
he
red
got
light
some he
district.
got some on the big boys in boxing. He got some dirt on them. That's what I think.
He
I've
ain't got
been saying
nothing
that.
on him.
No, it's the
Wait,
draw.
wait,
No,
wait.
no,
He
Let me
ain't got
ask-
nothing
wait,
on him,
wait,
bro.
He called it
The
the red
powers
light
that be,
district.
the powers that be in boxing are complicit. They're complicit. They know what he's doing. They don't care.
Are you saying that people in football aren't allowed to use snack?
They can use snack. His products
No.
are used in all sports. Then it's not snack. They're talking
And
about
They can use whatever they want as long as it's
he's
not on the
talking about
ban
him.
list.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
As long as it's not on the ban
So
list, good.
He talk about
here's
him
my next question.
sponsoring people.
Hold on. Here's my next
They got a
question.
ban list in NFL. They got a ban
here's
list
my
in
next-
UFC.
Here's my
They got a
next
ban
question,
list
right?
in the NBA. As long as what you using is not on that ban list, you can use it. Period.
Okay, listen.
They got a ban list in boxing too, though.
Wait,
Okay,
yeah,
all right,
they got a ban
hold
list
on,
in
hold
all
on,
athletes
hold on.
sports. Hold on a second. That being said, right?
And as long as it's what you using is not on that list, you can use it.
You're right.
You
So
hold
say,
on.
wait, no, hold on. Damn, hold on. Everybody, hold on. Let me just get this off my chest to Shelton. I want to ask Shelton a question. Shelton, you stated that Victor
Yes.
Conte
Yes.
is allowed to be in boxing. In what capacity outside of his supplements being used by the fighters is Victor Conte in boxing?
Sponsorships.
Yeah, if that because everybody keeps saying snack fighters and fighters that fight for snack and all this old weird stuff. So you telling me Victor Conte is a promoter and he got fighters on his under his promotional banner?
No,
Because that's what they say,
he's a
right?
sponsor. He's a sponsor.
Nah, he give endorsements.
And
okay, so that
sponsorships.
being said, endorsements, sponsorship. Are there athletes in football, basketball, and all these other sports that are not sponsored? That are, I mean, not. Are they not allowed to be sponsored by Victor Conte?
They're not.
None of them are.
They're not.
No,
and they're not.
they are.
They're not allowed to
They
be in part.
are.
They're not allowed to be in part of that lab program
Right.
that he's got behind this.
Correct.
That he does with his fighters. That's
No,
what
they're
they're
not.
They're not
They're
allowed for that.
Yeah, they're not allowed sponsorship by him, but they're allowed to use his product.
I mean, you got to understand. He has a
Oh,
lab
wait,
where
are
he
they allowed
creates
sponsorship by other supplement companies?
Yes.
Which is weird, right? Yes, to say the
I've
least.
never seen.
Of course they are.
None.
Let me see. I gotta verify. 'Cause you
I've
know what, the
never seen.
NFL is
I've never
tricky.
seen a basketball or football player. Besides, other than maybe if it's like whey protein, I've never seen them like sponsored by anybody. You can't
That's what
wear
I'm trying to
patches
say.
and stuff on your jerseys.
You ain't never
You
seen
can't do
Dak
none of that
Prescott on a
in them
commercial talking about
sports.
omega-3s and that shit at GNC? You ain't never seen that?
Oh, what football player?
Right.
Right, like,
Dak
right now,
Prescott,
what football player?
quarterback for the Cowboys.
I see. Yeah, he does yogurt commercials.
Dak Prescott. You know who Dak Prescott is?
All right.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson.
No,
what
he does
squad you talking
supplement
about?
GNC commercials as well. He does GNC commercials as well.
For whey protein, I just said that.
What's the other dude that
Whatever supplement they allow him, that is sponsoring him from GNC, he's got commercials. That shit's on
Right.
TV all the time.
Right.
What are you talking about?
I've never seen Dak on a GNC.
Muscle
but maybe
builder,
I'm
muscle
missing
milk,
something.
all that old shit.
I just want to go on record. Hold on. I just want to go on record here. It says here, based on available information, Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, has several endorsement deals, but specific partnerships with supplement brands are not prominently featured in recent reports. While he is a spokesperson for various companies, including Campbell Chunky Soup, Jordan Brand from Nike, Bud Light, Blockchain.com, and Pepsi, according to Memo, there's no mention of specific protein or vitamin supplement sponsorships. He's not sponsored by nobody. He might do a commercial if they pay him to do. I don't know. But
That's what I just said. He's not sponsored by
a
them.
supplement company. So what I'm trying, I guess my point is trying to say is there any more restriction on Victor Conte's snack products than other, is there separate restrictions on him in comparison to other supplement companies when it comes to athletes access to his supplements? Are there restrictions? Are there guidelines that prevent him from having his supplement products available for athletes in any sports across the board?
I don't know.
don't think anybody can answer it at a
I
minimum.
don't know. I just never, in football, all my years of watching football, basketball, baseball, I've never seen those athletes in particular sponsor, or I've never seen them on commercials for no type of
Right. I don't think they
supplements
would,
like that.
I've
I've never seen that.
And
Like-
let me ask you another
like
question
Victor-
to add on it, because I see 2 Cents said this is not about the product. So, okay, this is about his influence, right?
Yeah.
With what you guys think his influence is with VADA. That being said, are there athletes that are on snack programs with Victor Conte who participate, who go to his gym, who take stacks and supplements that he's given to him? And is he operating in a capacity with VADA? Because doesn't VADA test all athletes? Isn't that like across the board? VADA,
Yep.
USADA, all them?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
No one,
Yes
no
and
one
no.
no one that, from what I can see in all of major sports, are sponsored by Snack.
But he does
They're not sponsored by
sponsor
anybody.
Robert Garcia.
No,
He sponsored Robert Garcia.
they have other sponsorship for other products, but
Like what?
nobody is involved with. They were. Let's see here. I got one example. I mean, it has nothing to do with just products, right? It doesn't matter what product. You
Right.
can be Oreos, Rich, Pepsi, Gatorade.
Well,
but
I'm saying
nobody-
supplements. I'm talking about enhancing supplements that enhance athletic ability, speed, conditioning, sleep, protein intake. Like, I'm talking about supplements specifically, not Pepsi, Bud Light, Chobani yogurt or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about specifically supplements
I've
for
never seen it.
athletic. I don't know. I guess we can do some
I'm
research
reading
and
through as much as I
revisit the
can,
topic
as
at
fast
some
as I
point.
can, to give you the information I can.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I say do your due diligence, and in another show, if you remember, or if anybody remembers, to bring in like any type of like information according to that, because I don't know the answers. I'm asking questions because I genuinely don't know the answers to
I
those
think
questions.
once I was going to say, I think once Victor Conte's situation went down, they removed all supplement, like stacker rates, anything that had to do with any type of energy boosters or anything, were removed from sponsorships of all pro sports aside from boxing and wrestling, I believe. Only thing I think they really kept on to was like Gatorades, things with electrolytes and stuff of that nature. But like even the I am 8 from David Beckham, that's been linked to other athletes being used and things of that nature. So yes and no. And I think I am 8 even got banned from a lot of sports because it had knowingly performance enhancing testing done with the products that he was using. So they actually banned it from other sports because of that. So yes, they have Prime. Yes, Prime is another one. Yes, they have like drinks and stuff like that, but they're all
Like energy drinks.
Yeah, they're like energy drinks, but they're not real. They're not like something that's tainted or that could be
like stacks.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
Stacker 2 has been removed. If you remember, Stacker 2 was a big thing.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean? Snack was a big thing. Zimmer, part of Snack was a big thing. I am 8 was a big thing. Trend, not Trend. What's the one that the protein? Whey was a big component in sports, and they stopped using them. Like competitors that do like exercises or things of that nature, they are sponsored. Think like when you talk about like aerobic or those type of sports, they use those brands and supplements to get sponsorships. One, they get paid and they get free samples or free endorsements. So it helps.
And that's another thing. What you just said, Ray, getting paid. We got to understand, like Gatorade and those people, they paid the NBA. They paid them.
Gatorade being in Florida at a college university.
You don't have to be sponsored. But the thing is, you don't have to be sponsored to use Victor Conte's services.
Yes.
It's not going to be out in the open. You think Barry Bonds and McGuire, all these guys, they put Bach on my shirt.
No, that was back in the day, but I'd like to think there's protocol put into it today. But my question is this, right? HLD, like, it's not
how much.
What I'm saying is he banned the way that people want him banned from boxing, right? The way they want him banned from, because he's only, from my understanding and knowledge, he only operates as a provider of supplements for fighters. for athletes. I don't see him operating any athletic commissions or any sanctioning bodies or as a promoter or as any capacity of boxing business is concerned. I don't see him operating that way. Now, I see the speculation and the connections that people want us to take their words and say, nah, he's really in the background running VADA. He owns VADA. He operates as more of a this in VADA than people want to acknowledge. And I think that's easy for people to say. But me personally, I'm not listening to you guys like that. I'm not giving that much weight to the accusations.
How did he,
I need actual evidence. You know what I'm saying, of him doing there, and I haven't seen it yet.
Why is Victor Conte the man releasing Terence Crawford's VADA touch?
From what I understand, if you read the
real
right here, no, he says it right here. He says Terence gave it to him. He says it.
The one with the false gate. You talking about the one with the fake gate on it, or the one?
No, the same one. Whatever it is, right here. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold on, right here. It says. Wait, hold on, Terence.
Why was Victor Conte the one announcing when Devin with the Ryan Garcia that he had 6 nanograms of Asterine in his system? Why was he?
Because they gave it to him. People gave him the results that they had.
Okay, why is he the motherfucking man to be giving anything to?
It don't matter. What I'm saying. Look here. I just want you to see what it says right here. I just want to be clear, right? What I'm saying, right? Clean boxing update. This information was received from Terence Crawford. Boom. That's how he has it. It says where he got it from. And that means there's an argument to say that the information he had about Ryan Garcia's is probably given to him by the Haneys, right? The Haneys probably was like, look what we got from VADA, letting us know this dude pop for this, that, and the other. And he's able to read it and understand the process behind how people are able to get to certain conclusions. So he speaks on it from an educated space. But I don't know of the evidence that he's getting this information directly from VADA, that he's calling Margaret and saying, hand this over to me. And that's what she's doing, right? I don't know. I know that the rumor and the information being circulated in the space is that that's what it's happened. And I know most of you guys are referencing information coming from everybody else but VADA, right? Like, I don't see none of you guys providing me with documented information showing that Margaret has communicated that she gave information to Victor. You guys are getting it from
that would be the FBI for you, buddy.
Okay, so we don't know, right? So what I'm trying to say is, until I see something like that, I can't give but so much merit to secondhand, third-hand, fourth-hand information. I think the idea is that this is happening even though there's no proof that it's happening.
I wonder if Terence Crawford concurs with this statement that he's the one who. I bet he won't even dare say that I gave it to him, because if this would ever go to court, he would have to then.
Once again, we're speculating. I don't know what he would or wouldn't do.
I'm telling you how that would work. He has all plausible deniability, because I didn't say that. He said that I gave it to him.
Why would he deny it? What's the big deal of him denying it? In other words, why can't he do that?
He's not also saying it because he could have been the one to put it out. Hey, I know Amanda Serrano puts out her own test. She don't need no Victor Conte to do it for her. That's all I'm saying. Why didn't Terence Crawford put it out himself? Hey, people, y'all talking shit. Here's my VADA test. Toma.
I mean, listen, man. I think it's easier. It's way easier to throw holes or throw questions to what we're seeing. But at the end of the day, as far as documentation is concerned, and that's all I can go on, man. I just can't do the speculation and the doubt, right? I'm sure you can put a reasonable doubt in anything, right? But that's not what it's about for me. For me,
to convince you. I just know what I know.
All I know is what's documented. You feel me?
I will not.
Everything else, you happen to know something, but I can't give but so much weight to what you're saying. I can't give but so much merit. You may very well have real understanding that I don't have, but I can't take the just your word. I need the documentation to back it. And I've been asking forever for somebody to provide me documentation, paper trail that shows me that Victor Conte operates in a capacity more than what he said he's already done. As far as advisory role, as far as years ago, not anymore, as far as anything that can affect the results of something going on right now today. It is what it is. That being said, I want to move on from this because I got an appointment and I want to talk about some of the boxing topics, you know what I'm saying, on the table. You know what I'm saying? Can we speak a little bit on, I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about Boots Ennis and I want to talk about Tank Davis as far as everybody's opinion on the board, as far as we'll talk about that because if I start it now, it's going to open up. Let's talk about Terence'S Ennis right now. Terence'S Ennis making moves right now. The space is, first of all, do we agree that Terence'S Ennis is trending big time right now in American boxing right now? Yes or no? How do people feel about that?
No.
50-50.
Yeah, like
We could take that VADA thing off the screen.
Yeah. My bad.
That shit is terrible.
Yeah. I feel you. I got it off. My bad. But how do we feel about Terence'S Ennis right now? He's not trending right now. They're not. Everybody's not in his
trending like that. No, I don't think so.
Who's trending more than Terence'S Ennis right now? Only like one or two people, right? Like who? He's the most talked about guy I see right now on the media.
I believe so. You know, not just being from Philly that I'm a fan of Terence'S. I'm a fan of his skills and what he could do in the ring. But my thing is with Terence'S Ennis right now. I think he's at the level now where as though, you know, I just want to see him in the biggest and the best fights. And I think if he give us a fight that the fans really don't approve of, I think they're going to continue to paint him in a bad light. But he is trending in boxing right now. But, you know, hopefully if they doing a fight in October, hopefully we just get a valuable opponent that we could, you know, all appreciate and watch a good fight. But a lot of people that I know, even in the city of Philadelphia right now, a lot of people are like turning on him, calling him a duck. This is great. Yeah, in the city. Like people are literally saying it's hard to keep defending him. And I'm just like, damn. Like I was just at the barbershop talking the other day and his brother goes to our barbershop and somebody said something to his brother. Like, it's like, yeah, bro, it's crazy, man. I don't know what's going on. Like I think it's kind of like what me and you spoke about a couple months ago. It's like you hear different things from Terence'S, you hear different things from Mill, you hear different things from his pop, and you hear different things from Eddie. It doesn't seem like that team like always talk and they're on the same page. Be like little different messages coming out. So I think that's the problem. I think they got to get their communication in order.
I concur with that part.
That's what the problem is to the fans.
Dub, how do you feel? Wait, hold on, Dub, how do you feel? Because I heard him like laughing and he was feeling some kind. What do you think about this whole Terence'S Ennis situation right now, as it seems it is on the surface? Okay, he's not saying nothing. He walked away. Okay, HL, go ahead, man. The communication.
Look,
go ahead.
I concur with that thing that you really don't know what's going on within what's verbally being said and whatever. I can only go by the actions. Super certified duck. Anyway, if he's trending, he's not trending for all the right reasons. He's then trending for all the wrong reasons, you know. And that's upon him. That's upon how they want to move. And they look for what it looks like to me. All they're looking for is to make that money, which is okay. You could be another Tank Davis. Make that money. Who cares who I fight? And let me coast this career. I get that. You're about to break Mayweather's record. I know you're on your way fighting nobody. But, hey, if that's what you want to do and collect that paper, he just signed another extension, right? He signed another nice contract with Eddie. Hey, if I could still get my $3 to $4 million and I can just keep on whooping some of these bums, I'm good with that. But you see, that didn't work with Turkey, who just said what? What did he say? Bro, man, I'm looking for I'm not here for no charity work tune-ups. You want to do that? Take Eddie's money, which is exactly what he's gonna be doing. Taking Eddie's money, which is okay if that's what it is. But I don't want to hear nobody say this guy's trying to be no super legacy fighter. I mean, hey, everybody knows I'm not no Team Haney guy. I am no Team Haney guy. But at least that kid went up and fought a fucking champion at 140 right off the quit, right? What's this guy looking for? He's looking for some paydays with some bums to get that guaranteed money that he's got on his contract. If that's what he's doing, that's fine. But don't mix him up with guys who are trying to do something. All right, my guy just got a belt at 22 years old. This guy's almost 30, man. Come on, what you gonna do, Veron? What you gonna do?
Can I go next?
Yeah, go ahead, Suzanne. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I don't run Ray off the panel this time.
Xander's what I'm saying.
So, HLD, your favorite fighter is Teofimo Lopez. Cut it out. What you say, Ray?
I just said Xander at 22. Got his belt.
I'm talking about
Xander? You with Xander?
My dog needed my attention too since that's messed up.
What you say, Ray? I can't hear Ray. What you say?
I said my dog needed my attention, but it's okay. I'm gonna let him know you said that.
Okay, so check it out. Listen, let me get my 2 cents about this real quick. This is my issue with Jerron Boots Ennis, right? He goes from being the boogeyman to all of a sudden now he ducking, he doing this, he doing that. First of
Crazy.
all, we all know Jerron Boots Ennis had trouble getting fights at 147, like legitly had trouble. We could all agree to that. So Jerron, I've heard for the longest time, oh, he need to go to 54, he need to move up, he a weight bully, he this and he that, he doing all these things, right? This is the issue. Y'all want to control fighters and make fighters do and go against whatever they tell you that their goals are. So if a fighter comes out and say, hey, I just want to make money. Oh, he need to unify. He need to do this. He need to do that. Boots come out. He say, hey, I want to unify. I want to go for undisputed. He need big names on his resume. He need the complete opposite of what he's saying. The man said he wanted to unify or go undisputed. He's seen the trouble that he was having trying to go undisputed or even unifying for that matter. So he says, okay, boom, I got to defend the belt like I wanted to, and I was able to unify. Let me move up. They know he wanted to unify. They come out with an offer from Virgil Ortiz, and everybody acting like Virgil Ortiz wasn't ducking Boots the whole time they was at 47. And Boots say, no, I'm not going to fight Virgil Ortiz because I'm trying to unify. He a duck, he a duck, he a duck. The man already told you what he wanted to do. It's like y'all hear what these fighters want to do, and then when they don't do what you want to do and they're doing what they say they going to do, y'all want to criticize them for it. Jerron Boots Ennis ain't fight Tio. He a duck. How the fuck?
Turkey offered him backroom.
HOD, be quiet, be quiet. I'm talking, bro. Your favorite fighter is Tio. You sit this one out. Your favorite fighter is Tio. You sit this one out. So then you got Boots. He finally unifies and he says, you know what? I'm having trouble making this weight. I'm not about to sit in this division and let people wait me out and make the same mistakes as other fighters. Earl Spence, perfect point. I'm gonna go ahead and move up to the next division. Oh, why he ain't stay at 47 and fight Norman? Why y'all just said the man needed to go up to 54 when he ain't fight Ortiz? Y'all was crying for him to go up to 54. And I'm saying all of this just to point out the hypocrisy that Boots has reached a point in his career that no matter what's he doing, what he does, in my opinion, he will be criticized for it. If you run down the list of 54 fighters, who's available to fight Boots Ennis right now? Boots comes to the 54 division and he says, I want to acclimate to a weight. People criticizing him for saying he want to acclimate. Since when can a fighter acclimate to a weight and that be a problem? From 47 to 54 is one of the biggest jumps that you can make in boxing. If the man say he want to acclimate to the weight, how can you criticize him for that? If the man say he want to tune up, how can you criticize him for that? You can't criticize him for wanting to tune up, and you can't criticize Earl Spence for not taking tune-ups. So it's a lot of hypocrisy going on just to jump out the window and hate on Jerron Boots Ennis. Jerron Boots Ennis signed back with Eddie Hearn. Everybody want to criticize him for that. I'm not an Eddie Hearn fan, but I'm going to be honest and objective. Did Eddie Hearn do for Boots what he told him he was going to do? Did he keep him active? Yes. Did he get him money? Yes. Did he get him to main event in his hometown? Yes. Did he get him to unify? Yes. So, according to him, it might be a good business decision for him to go back to Matchroom. We don't know what other offers he even had to say it's a bad decision, do we? We don't know if PBC can take Jerron Boots Ennis right now. They got a lot going on. They got a lot of 54-pounders they focusing on. They having trouble getting dates and making cards and getting fights. Why the hell would he go over there? So how can you criticize him for that? The criticism is what I don't understand. Like, y'all don't even know what's really going on, and y'all just jumping out the window. Well, I think Boots should just sit out and wait. Like, what sense does that make? Why wouldn't he just sit out and wait? Let him fight a fighter that's available. And from my understanding, he's trying to fight a fighter that's ranked like number 3. So if he's trying to fight a fighter that's ranked number 3 for a tune-up because none of the other fights are available, how are y'all criticizing this man?
Because
wait. First of all, 2 cents. I agree with every damn thing you said, right? Like 100%. There's not one part of it. Every damn thing. I don't care what nobody says.
Yep.
Right? Every damn thing she said. The only thing I disagree with is the word tune-up. It's diabolical, and it's a jacket that man does not deserve. There's no way in hell Jesus Ramos is a tune-up. We got to stop playing games. We're talking about title eliminator fights. Josh Kelly is not a tune-up. He beats Josh Kelly. He gets into there right with Xander's eyes. He's a number one WBC fighter right now underneath the champion.
Why would you do that?
Wait. None of these fights that Jerome Boots Ennis is in negotiations to be fighting our tune-up fight. These are all regular fights, and they make sense. Why? Because each one of these fights put him in the direction or in the way of the biggest fights that can be made in the division. The biggest fights that can be made in the division is one of three fights. A, Virgil Ortiz, which he doesn't need to get into the conversation of working in the WBC rankings to get a fight over there, because that fight will be made one way or the other. B, Terence Crawford, the WBA champion. C, Xander Zayas, who has a whole entire country behind him in Puerto Rico with the WBO title. He puts himself in negotiations with Jesus Ramos. The winner of that fight gets to fight either Yoenis Tellez or gets right in there in the conversation of fighting Terence Crawford if he comes back from fighting Canelo Alvarez at 168. Worst case scenario, he gets elevated to be a WBA champion, which puts him in the conversation to unify with any of the champions in the division. Xander Zayas, he beats Josh Kelly. That's a title eliminator, gives him mandatory position to fight Xander Zayas. Not to mention, Bob Arum has already communicated that he's willing to make that fight happen as well. And Virgil Ortiz needs to do his job. He's an interim WBC champion. He's either going to rematch Serhii Bohachuk or fight the winner between Keith Thurman and Sebastian Pandora, become a champion, so that the fight between you and Boots Ennis, the biggest fight that can be made in the division, is set up to be a unification fight, big money. Boots is doing everything he's supposed to be doing. He's not communicating to you guys every one of his steps and letting you know what he's going to do, which is a bad business move. Good business is done. Good business. Hold on a second. Let me hook you up. Good business is done behind closed doors. It's not done in front of the world for everybody to see. Boots is not going to communicate every little step he's doing. Let's see what decision happens in the next coming days, because I'm hearing an announcement is coming.
Word. Now, what I was going to say is kudos to that, but you forgot one important thing. If he was to fight Josh Kelly.
I can't hear you, Ray. You sound low.
I know the guy, Melvin.
Yeah, Eddie, you sound bad.
Somebody, my man with the truck, he's talking to people and all that. You can't.
Y'all can hear me?
No, that's him. I got it. I'm gonna pause him. Okay, I thought it was you, HO. My bad.
You hear me?
Go ahead, speak.
All right. Yeah. I said. So you forgot one important part to that is that Josh Kelly gives him two wins. He's also going to be number one in the IBF. So if he fights Josh Kelly, he has two roads to two different titles. So it gives him more options. And again, the transparent part of it is I don't like that word that you mentioned earlier that was mentioned about it being a tune-up. No, it's not. It's a stay busy fight. It's something that he wanted. He wanted to have a fight and stay on schedule. Unfortunately, he's outside of his schedule at this point, even if he fights in October. So it still puts him in a position of meeting somewhat that requirement with having to go to November because he wanted to be on that card in November. Now he's not going to, so he's going to have to push that fight back, which we already heard that fight is definitely a done deal with Virgil in 2026. As opposed to when it is when it is. But everybody can speculate on what they want to. As far as everything that Clay said, I 100% agree. As far as what Tucson said, I agree. Landed.
He's not fighting Josh Kelly.
I think, hold on, let me say this. I think Boots is putting himself in position to not be ducked as much as he was at 47. I think that's what he's doing.
Exactly.
He is not fighting Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly ain't done
HLD, your favorite fighter is T.O., bro. Sit this one out.
Again, your guy is not
but HL, he's not fighting Josh Kelly. He's probably going to fight Jesus Ramos, but he's got off. I'm saying the fight that he's been pursuing. The fight he's been pursuing makes sense, is what I'm saying.
You want him to be a champion? Then why are you not going to fight
Because
Bakram?
why fight Bakram under a rehydration clause against the most dangerous fighter in the division? No, I'm going to go get a title, and Bakram is not, and Bakram is not the biggest fight. He's not the biggest money fight. The biggest money fight is Terence and Xander. Come on, bro.
With turkey money? What are we talking about? Now that's cap.
No, listen. Bakram is only a money fight because of Turkey, right? But
that's all that matters.
Listen. Bakram is a money fight because of Turkey, but he has an IBF title. This is my personal opinion. He has an IBF title. There's a rehydration clause attached to that. Why would I just choose to do that when I could go an easier route and fight him with a unification where I don't got to worry about a rehydration clause? Not to mention the biggest fight that can not to mention the biggest fight that can be made is not Bakram, it's Terence. okay, or Xander.
Oh my God, that Terrence ain't
Why
no
would you think Boots want to fool with that 10-pound rehydration clause again right
He's
now?
not
Because he's
doing that.
moving up. There should be no issues with him with no damn
Nah,
rehydration
bro,
clause.
Hey,
that's
I got a
your
question.
None.
How many championship fights has Boots had?
One.
1, 2, if you
The
count the
man is
defense of his
two.
belt.
The man is
What's the
34. He's 34-0. People want to see him fight someone of his caliber. We
Let me
don't
say
want to
this
see
real quick
another.
when you're done.
I'm just saying. The man fighting Josh Kelly doesn't move the needle.
And
It doesn't
Bachar
move the
is
needle.
mandated to fight Lubin. Thank you, Hunter Young. I didn't even think about that, bro. I forgot about that. He's got to fight with Lubin that they get ready.
But we want to see the man. We
Because
want to
Josh
see
Kelly ducked Bachar.
As fans, we want to see Boots fight somebody, or at least a 50-50. Out of 30, I'm
There is no
34-0.
50-50, bro.
It is a 30. It is.
Hey, let me put. Can I put some things in
You don't think
perspective?
Santos?
No, hold on. Let him build. Let him build.
Ramos is Ramos not a 50-50?
Hold it down. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Do you think Ramos is a 50-50?
Nope.
Yeah, he's close to it.
But
he's a good fighter.
Right.
He's damn near undefeated.
He's
He's 50-50 until Boots whoop his ass.
So why did he not take why did he stop going for the Kelly fight and started going for the Ramos?
Because Kelly said he wasn't taking the fight because they're not paying him
Ramos-
enough money.
Yo, it's because he's okay. It's because he's okay becoming a 2-time division email champion
All
once
right, hold
Terrence
that
Crawford
thought.
vacates.
Ray, can I say something real quick,
Hold on,
Ray?
Let me just answer. Let me ask this question, and y'all can build on it. The reason why I believe, now this is my take on it, that he didn't is because Josh Kelly probably wants that fight in England. He wants it overseas, and they want to make this fight in Philadelphia. So the money is not right for Josh Kelly to make this fight. And yes, with that Lubin fight being on the paper, with that Lubin fight being there, that Josh Kelly fight gives him more options for belts, right? Now the Jesus Ramos it's a more dangerous fight. It's actually a high risk, low reward fight. Is it a 50-50 fight? Absolutely not. But the risk of it is higher than a Josh Kelly to most people's eyes. Any other fighters that you see there, all the rest of them either came off of fights, they have fights, or they're going to be or they're busy right now. Like there's no other fighters but a handful that are in the top 5, top 6 that are worth him fighting. There's only like 2 or 3 fighters.
He could have fought
Ramos
Ortiz in November. What's wrong with Ortiz in November? What's wrong with
and Ortiz is not guaranteed in November because he's coming off a hand injury, and that's the speculated date. That just means that he can announce the fight in November. That doesn't mean that they're going to make the fight in November. HLD, you're taking words literally as what they're saying is he be ready to fight means that we will be beginning negotiations in November. Because if he wanted that fight in November, they would have took that fight in September.
So what big fight you think he did like Turkey?
Listen. When they asked him for that fight, they would have said, hey, let's negotiate it now. We'll have that fight in November. No, they didn't say that. They said he'll be ready in November for a fight, which means that he will be taking a fight.
What big name you think Turkey was offering him that he had to say no? I mean, you think he's going to give him a Josh Kelly, or was he trying to give him somebody big?
No, obviously you're not listening to the space, right? So
exactly.
what Boots said is he's on a plan. He wants to have a fight within hold on. He wanted to have a fight within August, September. And the reason why he wanted to have a fight August, September is because he wanted to fight in November, Virgil Ortiz, or whatever the case may be. But because that didn't happen, his schedule didn't happen, he said no to waiting. He doesn't want to sit on the shelf. He wants to continue fighting. I don't understand the problem in that, because when fighters are sitting, you guys complain. When they're trying to be active, you're complaining. So which one is it?
He had fights lined up for him. He said no.
I just told you what it was, Ray. It's the opposite of whatever Boots gonna do. But this is what I want to say, right? Let's put this in perspective, right? Terrence Crawford, the #1 pound for pound, the best fighter on the universe, by his own admission, said the best fighters and the elite fighters on his resume are Ricky Burns and Victor Postal. I'm not trying to take no shots. I'm just trying to make a point, right? At what age did Terrence Crawford start getting his biggest fights?
30-something.
30-something. How old is Boots?
What is it? 27?
27.
27. Okay, so what are we talking about?
Well, it took Spence 3 years. Spence ducked him for 3 years.
I mean, whatever the reason.
You're not on this side of the street. That's the reason. We can't throw. I'm just saying though, but we can't just throw things out and say. And
28. Yeah. But
yeah, we can't just just throw things out there vicariously.
That's one
they don't
fighter.
matter.
You're talking about. You're talking about Spence. That's one fighter.
Pacquiao was there. He wanted to fight Pacquiao.
Okay, but listen, right? Jerome Boots Ennis, right? Y'all act like he's not staying true to his character. And what is his character? Legacy, titles, right? Now, you guys want to use Bakram and throw Bakram at him like he got an opportunity to become a champion. Okay, I hear you, right? But at the end of the day, Bakram, number one, is in negotiations with a mandatory in Erickson Lubin, right?
Now, not before.
No, it doesn't matter. He is.
It does matter. If he would have gone in negotiations, there would be no mandatory word.
It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm not talking about I'm talking about where we are presently, right? Erickson Lubin is getting ready to fight him. 10-pound rehydration calls. Let Erickson Lubin figure it out. Many people have stepped away from Bakram for good reason. He's a dangerous fighter. He's one of the best fighters in this space. He is. Let's be honest.
Why are you running? Why not fight him?
Wait, hold on. You can fight him. You can fight him.
Clay, you can't argue with a T.O. fan, bro.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Right. So what I'm saying is there's options. Listen what I'm saying. Listen, because you guys really want to push it like it's not. He has options that still put him on path to fight all of these guys. He's going to fight all of these guys because he's going to go chase undisputed. He's going to fight them all. The question is, what's the order going to be in, right? He has an opportunity to get into the conversations of potentially fighting a Terence Crawford or fighting a Xander Zayas or fighting a Bakram or fighting a Sebastian Fundora or Virgil Ortiz, right? All these big fights. What is he going to do? The question is, what direction is he going to go in? What goes first? What goes in front of the other one?
It goes out.
Terence is the big fight. It's the big money fight.
That goes out the window when you say Terence is not going to be 154. Come on,
it's not 10 years ago, right?
Hold on. It's not. Terence Crawford is the biggest fight that could be made. It's probably not going to happen, right? Keeping in mind, Turki Al-Sheikh has spoken saying that he believes Terence Crawford wants to make fights after the Canelo Alvarez fight. Now, in comparison to what he thought before, when he thought he was going to fight Canelo and retire. So we go in that WBA conversation. How can we fight Yoenis Tellez directly? No, he has a fight lined up against a number one guy in the WBA rankings right now. Jesus Ramos is the number 3 guy. He's the guy who you're going to fight if you want to get in that conversation. He can fight him, or he can fight Josh Kelly, which would put him that would be a title eliminator fight. That would put him as a direct mandatory or the number 1 spot, at least, to fight Xander Zayas. Bob Arum's already communicated how he's felt about that. Why is it a big deal? Why are these called tune-up fights when all these fights put him directly in front of getting a title next in the division? Fighting Bakram, it was an option, but he chose to go a different direction. Who is he the first person to do that?
No, but he called him a tune-up. It came out of his mouth. I saw the video of him saying tune-ups.
Who?
Gerard Ennis.
Please put the link in the chat.
Show me where he said
it was on Boxing Boys. It was on Boxing. It was on Boxing Boys. It was on Boxing Boys. Check the
John Ennis never spoke to the Boxing Boys. He don't do interviews with nobody.
I didn't say he did an interview. I said the video was shown where he said it out of his own mouth.
Okay,
you pulled the video up.
So what? Because
you're demeaning.
Wanting a tune-up is you cannot criticize somebody for taking a tune-up to get acclimated to the weight.
You don't even need
That's what I'm saying.
That's just ridiculous.
That's not what I'm saying.
Claymore,
that's not what I'm saying.
You're saying he's not going to take a tune, but he's not going to fight Josh Kelly, so we can't call that a tune-up. He's not going to fight Tellez or Ramos. Those are not going to be tune-up.
What do you mean he's not going to fight Tellez or Ramos? How do you know?
Not next. His fight is going to be some real tune-up where we're going to be like, oh, hell no.
So if he does fight
was you crying like this when T.O. fought Clegget? Was you crying when T.O. fought Clegget?
He was a champion.
Who was the champion? Who was the champion?
Tio, a super champion.
Oh, God. So he picked. Okay, but listen.
Oh, my God.
If he fights Jesus Ramos, because I got to go. If he fights Jesus Ramos, is that a tune-up? Yes or no?
No.
Yes, he already lost.
I don't think it's a tune-up. No. I don't.
Because he already, HLD, you a casual, bro. Get off. Yeah. You stop it. Stop it, bro. You a super casual.
He's just hating on Jerron.
Man is cooked.
Nah, you got that casual talk up here, bro.
Your
You tripping.
man is cooked.
We'll see. We'll find out, guys.
Even
I
Devin
appreciate all
Haney
you
fought a
guys.
champion.
I appreciate
Coming
all
up.
you guys. I'm gonna start putting the
Why
music on.
T.O. don't fight no champions at 140?
He wanted to fight
Hold on. Here
Boots.
we go.
But
Watch this.
Why
Boots
T.O.
T.O. been on the decline since the Loma fight. Cut it out.
He wanted to fight Boots, but Boots tucked his tail.
T.O. been on the decline since the Loma
Salute
fight.
to everybody in the building. I appreciate you guys. Yo,
Peace out, Clay and Ray.
see you guys on the next show. Catch the fights this weekend. It's going down. Shout out to Dub, Ray, 2 Cent. Shout out to Pop Shop, HLD, everybody who popped up here, bro. Everybody in the building. Please remember to hit the like button if you haven't done it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. What's the next one? At this point,